Galactic year.
2674, Cycle 10, Solar Day 13. The crew of the Half-Blinds, aka the Polyphemus, are adrift in their ship. The void of space surrounds you as you run standard diagnostics on their ship between jumps. Floating in an unknown system around an unnamed noon, your ship informs you of low fuel. As you float and make your repairs, preparing for your next job and grav jump, the computer pings in the distance of the ship with the noise of a notification. The noise lost in your daily routines.
And with the person who rolled the lowest, Dr. Roger Hatfield, what is it that you are doing on the ship at this time? In between jumps, in between jobs on your ship. I will also move you guys over to the ship so you can see where you all are at.
So I'm probably filing, like, incident reports from our last mission. The lizard stubbed his tail or something. Just checking on all the medicines and stuff, making sure everything's not too expired.
Checking through your medical supplies. It could be updated. It's been a while since you've last had a chance to fully restock. Perhaps the pay on your last job was not as big as you wanted. Enough, at least, to restore all of your supplies across the ship. But you make do with what you have. Gunny, how are you spending this time in between jobs and Graph Jump? You can, of course, place yourself elsewhere on the ship if you need to.
That works. Being a soldier in the war, he would and being a Marine. I was trying to go for a fucking lizard voice.
You're sounding good.
That was great.
Just be aware that you are going to have to speak that way for a while.
I know.
It might hurt your voice.
He would be.
You only have to do the voice when he's talking out loud.
Okay, when you know how Marines they take apart their gun and they're cleaning and putting it together and everything like that. He's doing maintenance, oiling everything, counting the rounds that he has. He's on edge. He's always on edge, and that's what he's kind of doing right now. And his eyes are shifting back and forth, like a lizard.
Shifting back and forth like a lizard.
So you know how the lizards they shift, and
yes.
His head is always on a swivel, just due to what he's always had to deal with in the desert regions and the war zones and everything like that. So he's always on edge.
My first image was his eyes are like a chameleon. They're always looking in other
No,
directions.
he is very much a desert-based lizard person. He's not a tropical one. He's not a one from a rainforest type.
Desert lizards can have that two eyes looking in different directions.
And no, he does not shoot blood out of his eye to shoot at enemies.
Is that a thing that there's a real lizard that does?
Yes.
Yep,
it's a real lizard. He shoots blood out of his eye socket at predators to escape.
Well, we already determined your
Android. I would on sanity just for the lizard.
We already determined that your defense mechanism is you drop the tail.
Well, yeah, he could lose his tail and everything like that if needed. But yeah, he's cleaning his SMG right now, taking it apart, putting it back together, and everything like that.
Wonderful. Linus, what are you up to on the ship this time?
All right, so could you just give me a refresher on just like what's happening?
So right now you guys are in between grav jumps, in between jobs, taking a moment to run some standard diagnostics on the ship. You know that fuel is low, and there is a computer pinging on the ship, though nobody has yet noticed it with a notification. But right now you're just kind of floating. Standard repairs, checking your supplies, seeing what you have and what you might need going forward.
Yeah, maybe Linus will notice that, and he'll probably bang his head on the console as he's been trying to chase down that one short that never that keeps eluding him.
You do have mechanical repair. Why don't you give me a mechanical repair check then? We'll have our first roll be this.
Awesome. As your captain, I will be glad to be the first into the fray.
It seems only fitting. And have it use your intellect.
It's giving me advantage or disadvantage normal.
Just normal, yeah. Ooh, okay, very nice. With a 32, a successful check, you are rewiring some of the computers up front. The noise, you think you actually might have got it this time. You hear it on the ship, but it's not coming from the cockpit. It's not coming from, the main galley, the main deck.
The sound has moved.
I imagine this is like the Millennium Falcon, where it's like everything has been jury-rigged to work.
Pretty much.
Everything's wired into everything. It's like, I fixed the light, but now the microwave doesn't work.
Yeah. You've stopped one noise, but now there's another noise somewhere else that you have to deal with.
It's like, I got it, and it's like, boo, and it's like, well, what's that now?
But as you kind of fix...
Can anyone pinpoint where that's coming from?
Yeah, proficient in jury rigging. You shout that into the halls, and as your voice kind of echoes through your ship, the lizard man cocking his head at a strange angle, somehow looking at you and away from you at the same time. We'll go over to the ship's engineer in the back. Horace, what is it that you are working away on?
Since we're running diagnostics, I would be in the ship's room. I would be sort of communicating with both Sarah and with Linus at the same time. Sarah helping me with like jump calculations and things like that, and also testing like different programs. As I hear, like constantly over the comms, what the fuck is that noise? Coming from the cockpit, trying to figure out what that is, and him like cursing my jury rigging proficiency.
We just hear over the intercom, what is that light? What does that light even mean?
So, like, honestly, I think that I would probably be talking to Sarah the most. Just be like, Sarah, run sequence 26B test now, as she's, like, doing her magic with her computer skills. So things like that. Like, just totally engrossing myself in sequences and diagnostics.
Well, the jump drive is very heavily jury-rigged. Certainly a bigger drive than what a ship like this was meant to hold, but you guys got very lucky in a salvage on one mission and was able to find one. Certainly works a lot better than thrusters, traveling through space, but it has caused a few issues connecting it to the ship. You think you've worked most of them out at this point, but sometimes other things break down whenever you do a jump. So in between jumps, you have to stop to run diagnostics, run these checks, just to make sure that nothing has been too badly damaged. But
I talked to her lovingly. Her name is Nadine.
Nadine. Ooh, I like that. Is that also, then I will ask, the name of your ship's AI? Or did you name the jump drive separately?
I think I named the jump drive separately, because I think the AI would probably be more of the Doctor and Sarah's kind of hat in the ring.
Okay. All right. So Nadine the jump drive. I love it. Speaking of which, as you are asking Sarah to, or Zara, Zara or Sarah?
It's pronounced Sarah because it's spelled Zara, but she wants humans to call her Sarah because it's more human sounding.
It's said with an accent, Zara.
Right.
Yes, you could say it that way if you want. She just wants it to sound like a human name.
Well, Sarah, as you are getting these requests to run different diagnostic tests on your computers, what is it that you are doing on this ship?
All right, so I would be responding to Horace's requests for diagnostics almost absently because it's easy for me to run the same diagnostics all the time. It's almost like I could do it in my sleep if I slept.
Yeah.
However, I do try to perform them to the utmost of my ability and provide Horace with the best possible summary of what I see and what might be going on. By adding that, Horace, if the ship weren't held together by duct tape and super glue, it might respond better when we leave a jump.
I'm just doing the best
Um,
I can, darling.
I hear you. It sounds like we need to upgrade our equipment at some point, however, as I can foresee maybe 3.7 more jumps before this blank thing will break as well. I give my best prediction about what
0.7.
the next thing might fail. Yeah, somewhere between the third and fourth jump, something will break. Um,
We have about
and then
217 light years before failure.
I will add,
give it
Horace,
my best.
you do not have enough fuel for that many jumps anyways.
Yeah.
In 2,000 light years, turn left.
You did mention that there was a message coming in on the computers.
Yes.
That may capture my attention, but I would like to ask from this vantage point where I am currently at in the ship, can I see Dr. Roger Hatfield from my location?
There are doors in between, or what would be doors here. So I'll leave it up to the doctor if he would keep those open, or if he's looking through his own, if he's doing his own thing, kind of sealed away back here.
I do not want an android looking at me, staring at me through that door, so I will have it closed.
Jesus.
Yeah, these two areas are
Fantastic.
doors. This leading to the engine are doors, and then this leading to the cockpit doors.
Well, I will just say that since I have a little bit of alone time in this room, that I will give Horace the latest response from the diagnostics that he is requesting, and then I'll say that I'll go over to this computer over here and see if I can check where the message is coming from or what might be pinging our computer systems first.
Yes, you go over to that computer on the other side, a private terminal that you guys utilize to send out notifications, messages, emails, video chats, separate from your computer system that you use to, help run and control the ship systems. This one is designated solely for personal use.
Okay.
So you can open it up. It is a general message that the ship has received. It hasn't gone to anybody's channel specifically, but it does come in on an encrypted channel over the extranet. Unknown sender. Subject line reads simply, high-paying job, mercs needed. Do you open the email?
I would like to open the email. I would like to check that encryption is active, however, and that this message is not being traced before I open it. Funny, Linus, thank you for that. I am trying to remember to be an android. I am checking for encryption.
Given that you're checking for encryption and specific code-based things on your end, give me a hacking check.
Okay. I am fairly good at that.
Yeah. We'll level you up instead of just a basic computers.
As a normal roll, right? Not advantage or disadvantage.
Normal roll using your intellect, yeah.
Using my intellect.
I should remember to say what stat I need with those.
And no modifiers or anything.
No modifier. As best you can tell, it is coming over on encrypted channels. You're not seeing any signs of viruses. But it's surprisingly tough to crack. You think you have it at some point, but it is more complex than you would have initially imagined.
Well,
but the email does open.
I am going to go ahead and I'll continue opening it. I'm going to trust that its complexity means that it is encrypted sufficiently.
The email is short and to the point, stating simply, I have a job, payable of up to 200,000 credits. If interested, meet at Alushi Station, Miner's Rest Bar. And I will type the name of the station chat. So,
is it signed by anyone?
It is not.
I would like to see if there is a header or anything that might help determine who we're supposed to meet at this place.
It does not have any sort of header to it. Simply just a short email to the point. But I'll take just an intellect check.
Okay. While I'm going there, is there a way to reply to the email?
You know how automatic responses will like pop up before you send it, saying this sender has or this recipient has an automatic reply. It's like that.
Yes.
It basically will say like this automatic reply will be sent out stating that it doesn't take any responses, or this email is for general use,
Okay.
not for like some basic corporate like this is not something that can receive responses.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they still use the "you are not a robot" prompts.
But with that intellect check, which is actually pretty good, a 15, you have a feeling that given that you were designed by corporations and that you are familiar with some of their... Because you report to who designed you and who sent you to the ship to work. You would imagine that having some knowledge of how corporations work in this far reaches of space as you find yourselves in, chances are you're meeting a guy in a black suit, black tie, face covered, kind of an unknown, Men in Black sort of scenario.
Okay. Then I'm gonna basically capture the screen, like print screen. So I have the message to share with my companions. There's no way for me to mark affirmative that we'll meet you there or accept the mission, other than just to tell my crewmates that we can make it to the station. But before I leave this terminal, I say private message, activate encryption code Fat Penguin, which activates my private channel.
Okay.
And then I will. It's completely encrypted and encrypted in such a way that the crew does not see these messages. Is what my intention is.
Yeah, I'll say you've done this enough times. We don't have to roll for that. It's something you have set up and have set up before, that you can send encrypted messages to the people that you need to send them to.
And I will send an encrypted message to Somatura, and I'm basically just updating them that things are going well. We might have a job. We'll update you soon.
So it's really funny, Mark, that you brought up this idea of quick versus tight beam, slower communication, and that we discussed the jump drive thing, and then Sarah sending this message out. You actually, Sarah, will receive a reply back very shortly after your message to your corporate owners. That reads, "We did not realize that the message that we sent would be received by you and your ship. But this is good. If you're interested in the job, reach out at this number to set up a meeting. Job pays high, should be of interest for the crew."
With that affirmation, I will say understood. And that's all I need to say. They know I'm short. And then I will go back, and then I will, undo my encryption back to regular, so everybody else can use the computer too. And then I
basically
will go
just
back
log
to
out
this.
of your personal profile.
Yeah, basically that's what I'm doing. And I go back to this computer and I say, Horace, do you think we could make it to Alashay Station?
Do I know where Alashay is?
I think, yes, you all would be familiar enough, especially Linus, the pilot. Horace, you've been around for a little bit, military and out of military. you probably have some inkling of it. Alashea is kind of known as a seedier space station. There's a criminal, underworld there. There is corporate espionage that happens there. It's kind of like
Is it the
think
most
Omega
icy?
from Mass Effect. It's the most icy of space stations, yeah, pretty much. So
Tortuga.
you are familiar with its name. Yes, all great examples.
Okay.
So you have an idea of where it's at. It's about 2 jumps away. You have enough fuel to get there.
Okay, that'd be like running low on helium-3 and some palladium cores, but I think we can make it. I've got an inventory list ready for the doc to go over. They might have black market parts we might be able to replace some of this stuff with.
Polyphemus, open intercom to the crew. And when the intercom comes online, I will say, thank you, Horace. I have received notification that we may have work for us on Alashea Station. My recommendation is that we head there directly. Message incoming. And I'll send the screen capture to Linus at the helm. With the
You
job.
guys all get that email. It's very
yeah.
vague, but 200,000 credits is a hell of a lot more money than the last job was offering.
We don't talk about the last job.
But again, it's just my recommendation. It is the logical choice given our current situation and the level of repairs that the ship needs. I suggest we take the job.
Do we all hear this? Like, is this, I don't know, like a radio things or whatnot?
I activated the
Yeah.
intercom on purpose
Oh.
so that I would be speaking to everyone on board.
Ship's calm.
So,
Yep.
getting me, I would, I agree. We should take the job. Bootleg would probably be excited because this could be his ticket out of military service.
Yeah, 200,000 split between 5. That would be enough to pay your way out of your essentially indentured
Gunnery's portion
servitude.
Gunnery's portion's about 10%. We'll get to percentages later.
We'll get to shares later.
You hear the hammer go back on his SMG as he finishes putting it back together.
What's
No shooting on the ship. No shooting on the ship. We are low on medical supplies.
What's
Put a
the
hole in
line
my
that
ship, Gunny,
the
we're
fixer
ejecting you
uses in
out.
Cyberpunk, where he says, "Your cut is exactly what I think your value is, essentially, to the mission at hand." I love that fucking
Yeah.
line. Anyway,
All right.
please continue.
So, do you guys
Well, we're
decide
pretty
to-
low on everything, including fuel, and it's as good a place as any to get resupplied. So, I guess we could check it out.
CO2 scrubbers are down to 62%.
Roger,
Linus
Doctor-
Linus hits the console and it goes back to 63%.
Nice. Dr. Hatfield, can you tell us anything about the system that Alashea Station is in?
I'm a doctor, not a geologist. I'll take a look.
Thank you.
You do have the geology skill. Never mind.
Linus has the geology, and
Linus.
he's at the cockpit. Can you just bring up it's like the galaxy map and just like general information?
You can absolutely bring that up. In fact, your ship's AI will give you a little bit of information about Alashea Station as you request it.
Fantastic.
Alashea Station rests in a nearby system.
Sorry, I'm still working on the voice.
The system is barren, no worlds of note, asteroids full of resources. Alashea Station itself is built out of a once very profitable asteroid, but it was abandoned after some destructive accidents. Now home to a melting pot of different galactic factions who all use this station as a way to send out jobs and pay out crews willing to get their hands dirty where others may not be able to, or unwilling.
And that's the information you get out. There is no habitable worlds within in the surrounding planets. The station itself is kind of the only. It's really the only thing of note there. There might be moons with some, isolated pirate bases on them, but
It's a good spot there because there's nothing there.
Yes, pretty much.
Can we refuel there?
Yes, you'd be able to refuel there.
Awesome. Just Linus will be just double checking, make sure like the jump calculations and like fuel consumption is all within green.
Mm-hmm. It will take 2 jumps. You will have to land in a separate system before you get to Alashay, but it will consume most of the remaining fuel. You would basically be stuck there until you pay to refuel. But you set the calculations. It's good to go, and we can make our way to Alashay Station. I did forget to ask as part of your introductions too, if you would all like to describe what your characters look like as well. I don't think we got a description of everybody. And we can start at the bottom. So Sarah, if you want to describe yourself, and we'll work our way backwards.
Absolutely. I can unmute myself and describe myself. I am dressed in the bottom layer of my clothing is basically a bodysuit, like a onesie, that is rather form-fitting. But I also wear a kind of a bomber jacket on the top. It is obviously not a uniform of any kind. It seems to have been something that I collected probably in a previous mission. There might be a story behind it that I haven't fully fleshed out yet, but it's obvious it belonged to a human at some point, because it has a patch on it that says, I think it says, "Live free and die." It's kind of like, it's definitely not an android saying. Live free and die.
Well, maybe it is where it says, "Obey your programming or face annihilation."
But it doesn't say that. It says "live free and die," which is not Sarah's mentality, but in a way she's kept it because it kind of reminds her that humans are different than she is, and she has to remember those differences. But she might also have it's not emotional, but what do you call it when something is you don't want to throw it away because it has sentimental. Thank you. It has some kind of sentimental value to her, even though she doesn't understand her own personal connection to it. But she has that jacket. Her eyes are the only part of her body that seem robotic. They are the pupils are gray, like almost completely colorless. And you can almost see the lines of wires or circuits inside of her eyes. Her eyes look computer-like. But the rest of her seems extremely human. She has normal, natural-looking hair, which she likes to dye various different colors. I will just say that today it's blue, because I like blue. Matches my jacket. But yeah, that's pretty much her. She stands about 5'5", pretty slender build, but also not accentuating. I'm not trying to make her like the Cylon from Battlestar Galactica. She's not sexy. She's functional. So that's kind of how I imagine her.
Fair enough. Horace, how we looking?
Horace is a pretty big guy. Taking a look at him, you can see that at one point that he was actually a pretty muscular a sort of well-built person, but now he's sort of gone to seed a bit since he's been out of the military. His main choice of clothing is pretty much just like maintenance overalls. And a lot of the times you'll see him wearing gloves and long leather sleeves that sort of attach and pin to the suit because he does a lot of welding, things like that on the ship. Very casual. Although he looks like he's kind of a slob, everything's very well kept. He likes his things exactly where he puts them. Everything's clean. So when like Galkash comes into like the maintenance room and starts messing with tools to like tinker with his stuff, he gets like slaps in the hands, things like that. Especially when they're not put back in the right direction. His personality is very vintage. The maintenance room is covered in like old pinups and like postcards. He's a very nostalgic person, as well as like pictures of his family, his ex-wife, his daughter, things like that. But other than that, he looks the way he looks, just beard, sort of like a faux hawk, I guess, but like it just gets longer because he doesn't maintain it a lot. Always covered in some sort of oil or grease. Yeah, and usually just keeps himself to the mechanical room and the engine room. And when we're flying and making jumps, I'm in the cockpit with Linus, doing systems checks and things like that.
Perfect. Bootleg. I know you talked a little bit about your lizardness, but anything you would like to add to that?
He is a desert lizard, basically mainly from like a red planet. So think of it like Mars. So he has definitely red scales and some kind of like a spiky spikes along his arms and back. Like a spiked lizard. His standard issue battle dress. What's it called again? His standard battle dress for Lizardman is like desert camo. It fits him and everything like that. But you also know the crew know his species lifespan is only 30 years, give or take, and you know that he is 13 years old, so he's midlife just about. But he's still
End of life.
So
oh no, you said 30 years. Never mind.
30 years, and he's 13 years old. So he definitely has a bit of a curious nature to him as well, being young for compared to you guys, and so he's always wondering what is this? He's in his teenage years, and also so he really wants to, and he was conscripted, so he wants to get out of the service to go home and yeah.
Cool.
I have a quick question about being conscripted. Real quick. You said based on your reaction to the job, that might be enough money to get out of being conscripted. So are you conscripted by like you owe a certain amount of money, and once you pay that money, you can get out of the service? Or what do you mean by that when you say the job can get you out of the service?
So he was conscripted when he was an egg. I should also say he's very obvious. Being a Marine and being a lizardman, he's I would say he's about 8 feet tall, and obviously.
And actually, is this something we would know as the crew, or is this something you wouldn't have told us about?
This was something to probably be common knowledge for.
Okay, gotcha.
For a military service lizard.
Okay.
So yeah,
it came in your welcome package.
He basically he hatched from his egg, and he was immediately into the military service. He didn't get a choice. So he made a deal. I don't think you would know. Yeah, you wouldn't know, but he made a deal to get out of the service by doing jobs, and that's why he is with you guys for certain things, either collecting certain items or.
But are you in danger of being called out to go to military service at any time?
This
like-
is my military service.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, sorry, I won't take up any more questions. I was just curious about your character presents in the universe. We've essentially bought you. Is that what we're doing? We've paid for a military person on board our ship.
The military told me to come work for you.
He's working for college credits.
The way that I think about it is the last galactic war between whatever factions occurred a few years ago, it ended. And now that they have all these like soldiers that they have nothing to do with, they're like, okay, go get a job doing soldier stuff and then pay us back all the upgrades and weapons and armor that we gave you.
Okay, I like
that. Dr. Hatfield.
So just to point out, he is Dr. Roger Hatfield, but he's been part of the crew, so you can just call him Roger. That's fine. Not the tallest guy. He wears
Dr. Roger Hatfield.
Not the tallest guy. He wears kind of a white trench coat because it reminds me of the like doctor's coats he used to wear. I guess the best way to describe him is like mad scientist. He wears the coat and he wears the black gloves and stuff because he's just a little bit of a germaphobe. And he tries to be very clean and pretend he's still like a professional doctor, even though he's on this ship. Let's see. He's the kind of person who should not be out in the field. He's built and wants to be like in a very clean doctor's office doing paperwork. And he truly believes that being out here, we're going to land on some planet, die of some disease, and be eaten by aliens.
That might very well come true.
Well, if we keep going to planets, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, statistically, I guess. Linus.
He's like the killjoy.
So Linus's job was to go to the planet and nearly get eaten by aliens, and he doesn't. He was a hazardous environment surveyor. Thought that would and he could see the universe. Unfortunately, it's the universe you don't want to see. He is dark-skinned, and his attire is kind of like Horace's, except like he has all the pockets. And he's also a little bit shorter than everyone else. But that doesn't stop him. And he's got a sturdy build, but not like he's worked his entire life. And yeah, he's skittish, but he's also not. He won't like shy away. He has a special jacket. On the back, it's got 2 cross revolvers and it says "Cowboy Up." Kind of a little incentive of him to say like, "Stop being." You gotta kind of sometimes face your fears head on. And so yeah, he's brave, but he's also skittish, and he's basically trying to go freelance because he really doesn't want to work anymore.
If you don't want to deal with a boss, be your own boss, right?
Yeah.
I'm reminded of a movie. There's like a new movie coming out where this guy signs up to be a disposable crewmate, and like every time he dies, they just print him a new body.
I want to see that.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's in it.
So when you mention like hazardous waste disposal, it just makes me think of those people. Just go out and die.
It's not hazardous waste. It's a hazardous environment surveyor. So like he goes to Venus to, like, yep, it's sulfuric acid. They can mine this.
Just confirming.
They're just like
boots on the ground.
They go. It's just like it's raining sulfuric acid. Yep, it's confirmed. These are diamonds. This whole mountain is made of diamonds.
That's awesome. All right, very cool. Well, as you guys suit up, buckle in, whatever it is that you do to prepare for a jump, the ship alights. It begins to rumble, and make sure I have. Press your button, and I think this is the right one.
That's a totally normal sound.
I was just gonna write that every time before Linus hits the jump button, he pulls out his holy symbol, kisses it, and says a little prayer.
Yeah. For a second, it seems like everything powers up and then shuts off. And there's a second of like, shit, did we break something? And you feel everything around you shift. You lurch forward, and then you are pushed back into your seat as you land in the next system. And this happens again as the jump, as you land in this jump, the ship repositions, recalculates, and same effect happens as you land not too far from Alshay Station. As you guys make a successful, well, hopefully successful, I'm going to ask for a jury rigging check from our ship's engineer here.
80. What the fuck was that? Start checking systems in the cockpit.
I'll tell you, a failure's not bad. You just don't want to crit fail.
Are there ways we can assist him?
Wait, where's the 80?
Yeah, if you have like mechanical repair, you can give him advantage on the roll, or if you have jury rigging yourself, if you have one of those skills.
What was that, Gunny?
I didn't see your roll on the screen. Are you rolling dice?
Oh, I'm gonna roll.
He's going to roll a jury rigging.
And I have advantage?
You'll have advantage if Linus helps you, yeah.
Linus has he has mechanical repair and piloting.
Same. I have heavy machinery. I have heavy machinery, mechanical repair, engineering, and jury rigging.
Engineering is a skill too. I'm gonna say this is jury rigging just because of how we described the jump drive. But yeah, with piloting and mechanical repair, you can give him advantage.
They're both expert level.
I'm using intellect.
Yes.
No modifier. Submit. 20.
Ooh, okay. 20. The ship, it is a successful jump. It sounded bad, but the ship is reading no damage. Nothing crazy or wacky has happened. You have landed in Alashai Station or nearby safely. So nothing to fear this time. But here's the station that you guys kind of find yourself orbiting around. There are no comms as you enter asking for docking, but you do, Sarah, get a ping of an available ship's dock that you can fly to. It is available. There is no
parking spot.
Yeah, there is a parking spot that is made available to you. There is no one requesting over comms. It's just kind of silent. A ping for you, and then a park here.
I'm waiting for the name to pop up again because Linus keeps bouncing in and out of Roll20.
Sorry,
it's okay. It's just my character will not, as Roger asked earlier, I will not address you by anything other than your entire full name as well as your title if you have one on the ship. That is my programming that I programmed to remember your names with your titles, first name and last name. So Roger, I will not call you Roger. I will call you Dr. Roger Hatfield.
I'll go ahead and put that full name on there so you can keep reading it.
Yeah, it's just an Android thing. I will call you by your full name and title when I address you. So I'm assuming that Linus, being our pilot at least, is the closest thing to a captain on the ship. Would I call you Captain Linus Reynolds?
Please just call me Captain Reynolds, like Firefly.
I cannot do that, but I like the sentiment. Malcolm. I will say Captain Linus Reynolds. Comms are quiet on the station, but we do have a docking location, and I will swipe the screen and forward the docking location to you, the coordinates. I am currently looking for the location of the. I think you said there was a bar we were going to meet at.
Yes,
Alashea Station. Meet at some name of a place.
the Miner's
Um,
Rest.
the Miner's Rest. So I will begin searching for the Miner's Rest in relation to our docking location.
Yeah.
Linus will receive the information from Sarah. He just goes, "Well, that's as good. That's an invitation if I've ever seen one." And he will start piloting the ship towards that docking station.
Yeah. And I will say, just to be clear on this for you too, Sarah, this was not a message that you got personally to you. This came in the same way that the initial email came in. It came to
Okay.
the private terminal or the personal terminal, but it came to like the ship itself, not to
Yeah,
you
it's
specifically.
addressed to everyone on the ship. Gotcha.
Yes. So it was not an individual ping of like, "Hey, park here." It was to everybody as you got into the station. As you arrive in Alashai Station, a former mining operation in a large meteor that was abandoned and resettled by various galactic factions who now use it as an operating post for various underground and potentially criminal activities. You make your way to the, I'm going to call it a docking lot, because I think that's funny. The docking process takes longer than it should, as a very clearly ill-repaired docking umbilical attaches to your ship. But once locked, you are immediately connected to the system, to the station's gravity and oxygen. So your ship CO2 scrubbers kind of power off as the station's oxygen floods into your ship.
It still reads at 63%, though.
Absolutely, it doesn't repair it or fix them. It just and actually, the oxygen on this station is not great, as we'll kind of get into.
The gauge just doesn't read anything above 63%.
He just
So very funny.
he's just got the 63 lights hardwired on.
Do you guys take anything?
I would send an inventory to the doctor as we go in. I will call Dr. Roger Hatfield Croker. That is my special nickname for him. And just sort of.
Are you suggesting that I'm going to croak?
It's a little inside joke, because who knows how many people you've killed. And now we. It's a loving military term for medics. And I would just send him an inventory of kind of parts, things that we may need to complete said journey and or any journeys in the future.
Very cool. Do you guys
As
take...
far as, yeah, I was going to answer that question. So
Yeah,
I will
take
my typical little bag that contains, or it might even just be a pouch on my belt that contains my stim packs, my auto meds, my pain pills. I'll take a flashlight with me, and I'll take my my scanner device that has the 4 scanners that's included on it. And I would like to ask if I take my mag boots that I have separate from my vac suit, can I turn them off so they're not magnetic, or are they always magnetic?
Yeah, they have an off button.
Okay, so I will wear those boots with my standard crew attire, but I won't take my vac suit. I'm going to just take my mag boots, but turned off. And then I will go ahead and carry, I mean, my weapons are easy to conceal, so I just have a stun baton and a tranq pistol, so...
Those boots were made for walking, and that's just what you'll do. Anybody else taking anything of note onto the station?
We know that this is kind of like, again, like Tortuga, a very...
It's a seedy place,
it's a
for
seedy
sure.
place. Should I? No, I'm not gonna. I don't.
Yeah.
What?
So I think that you, being the Marine, should go armed into this seedy place.
You are.
I do not carry. I don't. I'm not a fighter, so I would prefer it if the person on the ship who's good at fighting can fight if there's a fight.
What do we pay you for if you don't shoot for us?
All right, I'll go armed. I'll go with my SMG and my grenades.
I don't know that you need grenades. We are on a space station, but the SMG is a good idea. I don't want you blowing a hole in the the wall and sucking us all out into space.
Fine, I'll leave the grenades.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Horace,
bootleg.
Horace is
Oh,
going to
thank
leave
you.
his.
What would your title be?
So
Thank you,
Gunnery
Private
Sergeant
Galcash Bootleg.
Galcash.
I have
Okay,
I have Gunnery Sergeant Galcash Bootleg.
I'll call you Gunnery Sergeant Galcash.
Yeah, is bootleg part of your name, or is that like a call sign or
That's just
something?
the nickname that I was given in the war because I would just run behind enemy lines and grab basically contraband of what I was told to grab and run it back.
You know what that sounds like, Chris?
What?
A corpse run?
Oh, shut up! God,
He is proficient. He is proficient in corpse runs.
son of a bitch.
All right. Assuming you guys kind of.
Horace is going to leave his sleeves, and he's going to throw on like a vintage synth leather like bomber jacket, and on the back of it is his favorite grav ball team, the Mars Red Devils.
Nice.
And then he is going to bring his pistol with him, knowing that this is a pretty shady place.
Perfect.
Galcash does have his stress ball in his hand and he's squeezing it.
Linus and Hadfield, you guys taking anything?
I feel like Linus usually wears his hazard suit, which I kind of imagine it's kind of just like it looks like a streamlined, like full body suit, but he's just not wearing the helmet.
Okay, perfect.
As the doctor, I feel inclined to take a first aid kit, and I'll carry my scalpel with me, for medical reasons.
All right. You guys enter the station, making your way out of the dock or out of your docking umbilical. You do notice that there is an old man that looks like what I can only describe as a early 1900s coal miner, in that he is looks like in his late 30s, gruff, long beard, covered in soot and oil. And he greets you silently, doesn't say anything. He does hold a tablet out to you that shows you that your docking fees have been waived, and you were given a readout of a small map describing the location of the bar. He doesn't say anything to you. He just moves on after showing you that information, and he begins checking nearby computer systems that display a readout of your ship.
Thanks, Pappy.
He just kind of nods. I'm assuming you guys are making your way straight to the bar. If this guy is looking at, you can leave him that list of supplies or repairs if you want to with the ship. I don't know if there's any conversation that you want to start with him, but I'm just kind of assuming that you are moving into where the bar is for now.
Yes, and everything, which I assume probably Galcash does the same thing, maybe even Linus, is my eyes are darting everywhere, sort of like the whole military trained situal awareness, like taking in everything as we go.
For sure. As you guys make your way through from the docks to the interior of the station, it is a very tight fit moving through these large metal corridors, not because it was designed that way, but because there are a lot of people moving around. Definitely the situation where you would keep your equivalent of a wallet close to the chest, maybe even your bullets to make sure nobody's stealing a clip off of you. You do see that there are advertisements kind of on large glowing screens as you enter sort of a large market. That kind of gives you the impression that maybe the air here and the atmosphere isn't as breathable as you would hope it is, as they are all advertising for rebreathers almost constantly. The air is smoky, it is dense, it doesn't taste great. And a lot of people are selling just shitty rebreathers throughout the station.
Linus will put up his helmet, which filters out most toxins.
Perfect. But as you guys kind of make your way through this market, the bar is not far from the docks. It is in the back end of the market that you find yourselves in. And it is just filled with space cowboys, ship jockeys that are looking for work or drinking to forget their last job, which maybe you guys would do if you were not here to collect on a job. But as you enter, very much as I described to Sarah, in a corner, you are waved down by a man in a black suit, dark glasses, and a large rebreather mask covering a chunk of his face.
That's kind of how I see Linus's hazard suit.
Nice.
Ooh, very cool.
I like that. That looks like you can avoid many hazards.
Yeah, it's just
That is a cool suit.
material.
But I assume you guys make your way to sit next to this dark and mysterious figure.
Where are we situated in this room?
He's in one of the back corners of the bar. The bar is not super crowded. There are maybe a dozen tables full out of, 2 floors. But he's on the first floor in the back. It looks like he has a nice drink. But the place is not like overly crowded. It just seems like people who are looking for or just getting done with a job.
Okay.
People very much like you.
Galcash I would probably be when it's sit. I would stand. That way I can react quick if something happens.
Yeah, I would
for
sit,
sure.
I would sit more to the outside of the group as I'm not one of I believe the main talkers. But I would like to position myself to where my back is against the wall with a clear view of the door.
All right. So yeah, you guys can make your way over. You can file into the booth with Gunny standing guard right next to it, and Horace kind of sitting at the edge of it, watching the entrance as this guy begins to engage in conversation.
Welcome. I truly did not expect such a quick response. We sent a message to a number of ships throughout nearby systems, but to have a crew respond and arrive that quickly, I'm impressed. And I hope that means good things for our working relationship.
Well, first come, first served, am I right? Besides, we were in the neighborhood.
Well, lucky for you, because this should be a very well-paying job indeed. At least I hope you are all amenable to it. I'll make it simple. 200,000 credits for a little bit of corporate espionage. There is a lab on a barren planet out in the middle of nowhere system that is conducting some research that we have learned about and find of interest to us.
Linus kind of just shakes his head and smiles, and he's just like, "It's always in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?"
The best place to do illicit research.
So, what we looking for?
I will respond as well with the coldest calculation possible. The reward seems significant. However, that should be balanced with the risk inherent in the job. Risk versus reward and all. What are the risks?
200K. 200K credits.
Okay, I have it right then.
I understand a little bit of nervousness to wanting to accept a job with a high pay and no information, but I must say, given the nature of this business that I wish to conduct, I don't want to give up too much unless I know you will accept it. Unless I have, let me rephrase that, signature of you accepting it. What I can say is that it could be dangerous. It could be an easy thing. More so the pay comes from the type of things that we want. This research could be big, could be an improvement.
As long as it pays.
I look to Captain Linus Reynolds and say, Captain Linus Reynolds, the reward is significant. I expect the risks to match the reward, but again, it is up to you.
Maybe I can phrase it this way. We know that they have security, and if things were to go topsy-turvy, security would be a threat. But mercenaries like you, I would assume, deal with security often.
Yeah, Sarah, you really need to pay attention a little bit more. Obviously, there's going to be some hardship. He wouldn't be here if it was easy. Now come here, and I take Sarah away for a little bit, and I just whisper, and I'm just like, look, we don't have enough money to get off the station.
I love it.
So just stop screwing with the deal and let's just get this done.
While they step away.
Understood, Captain. Linus Reynolds, based on current information, chance of survival, 75%.
I can't wait for that number to drop.
That's where I'm starting, Connor. That's where I'm starting.
You see Linus just you see him pull out his holy symbol and he starts rubbing. He's like, I don't like it when you give me the odds.
Yes.
Horace, what were you going to say?
I just say while they step away, I just sort of lean over to the dock and just be like, it can't be worse than Malvin 7, right?
Don't remind me of Malvin 7.
Oh, I already like the history that we have.
If you are all interested, I'll have you sign on the dotted line. An NDA of sorts, and a little bit of a binding contract. Given the nature of what we're looking for, and this being some corporate espionage, I want to make sure that product is received by us. Trying to skip out on the mission, or sell out to somebody else, may come with a fine, just as hefty as the bounty.
You mentioned security before. How much security can we expect? I've only got so many patches.
Well, from what we know of the station and the system, it's meant to be undercover. They don't send a lot out. A rogue ship here and there dropping off supplies. Security, maybe a few dozen at most. I would say about 2.
An undercover site may have very few security, but they are often the best security.
And this
likely
contract won't interfere with mine, will it?
I suppose that depends on the nature of your contract. What I can say is this: we do have ways to get you in.
Here,
believably.
Let us take a look at that NDA you talked about. Before you go too far into detail.
Of course, here, yes, take a look. Take a look.
All right, Linus will take it and immediately hand it to Sarah and say, "Look that over."
Sarah, give me an intellect check.
Gladly.
I'm going to look over Sarah's shoulder, and I'm looking specifically if there's any corporations that does it interfere with the military? Because I don't think I would be able to do that if I'm trying to get out of the military. I can't really screw them over.
Oh, so you're trying to see if it's like a defense contractor.
Yes.
Okay. Good question. Sarah, here's kind of reading over it. It's one page. It's pretty short. It doesn't look like there's any fine print that's particularly, damaging to if you were to fail the mission. Almost a crit fail, yes.
I know.
It is not a crit fail though, so I'm not gonna give you very little information on this. I will still give you something. More or less what the contract comes down to, looking over it, is you are required to not speak of this to anybody. You are, basic NDA stuff. You can't talk about the job to anybody outside of your crew and the person hiring you. You can't provide any of this information to other people once the job is done. The products that you are looking to, or the information or whatever it is that you are going to be securing and bringing to this person, or to the location you are requested to drop it at. If you were to give it to anybody else, or if you were to break this NDA, or if you were to not supply anything, it would be a 200,000 credit fine, and there would be no pay involved. But you do see the important parts are that it is a 200,000 credit paycheck upon delivery of 2 items, though the items are currently unlisted. Partial delivery will still get you something, but not nearly as as much as full payout. You would get 50,000 credits, which is still significantly more than you have now. So you still get something for partial completion, but failing the mission utterly and returning to this person will net you a charge. But that's kind of all you really see. You don't really get any information on how you will be charged.
I will slide the contract back to Linus, and I will say it is a pretty straightforward non-disclosure agreement in that we are not supposed to disclose anything upon which we agree. And we are agreeing to only disclose information with our employer, specifically these two pieces of information, upon the aforementioned great reward that we would be granted for completion of the mission. However, Captain, you may sign in my stead pursuant to Galactic Regulation REC 76.2.3, wherein an android in the employ of a ship, the captain can sign for said life form.
As Sarah's describing it, Linus is going to look at the contract, not really reading it, but he goes, "Yes, I can see. That is what I'm getting out of it too." As he hands it to everybody else.
But bootleg, I would say it's unless you would like, you can also roll me an intelligence check or an intellect check if you would like.
Yeah, I mainly, again, I don't want to screw me over because this...
Actually, I'll say this is a military training, but with your intelligence. I'll use that skill.
So,
yeah.
Okay, military training.
Just use the same excuse every military uses. It's a training exercise.
Normal.
Yeah, you would know what military contracts look like or defense contracts look like.
I would get, even though I'm a Marine, I would probably have basic knowledge.
Yeah.
No modifier, right?
No modifier. Okay. Roll it normal.
Shit.
As far as you can tell, it seems on the up and up.
Okay.
If you do broach that subject verbally, which you might have mentioned out loud.
I asked him this, like I mentioned. Obviously, I'm in my soldier gear as well. That's what. Yeah. So this isn't any defense or military contract.
No, this corporation is not currently signed with any galactic factions, empires, or democracies. They are a separate corporate entity doing their own hidden research. Nothing that should interfere with any of your contracts.
Even though I'm looking over the contract, I can't see anything. Can I get a read off of him?
Nice. Insight Jessica's back.
Oh, shut up!
What would be good for...
It wasn't Jessica, was it? It was Lily.
It was.
I feel like we've just been rolling intellect. This might sound a little weird, but I think it'll make sense. It makes sense in my head. I'm gonna have you roll a combat roll, just to see if you, because I think when you read people, you read them from the perspective of, in a fight, like, where are we at? Where are we standing?
Yep.
Body language.
Can I kick this guy's ass? Body language reading.
That's what I'm trying to get. And as a lizard man, that's all. And yeah, so it would be combat.
So for you, I'm going to make this a combat roll. As a battle of wits.
Oh my god. Can he hear his heartbeat?
Oh, that's very low. I love that.
Oh, Jesus, is an 8.
What you can tell
Isn't that really, really good in this game?
It's really, really good. Yes, it's really, really good.
Awesome.
You can tell, low is very good. You can tell that this man, one, no combat experience. This guy sits on his ass in a corporate office somewhere, giving out jobs to people. Is it possible that he is trying to screw you over? Likely. But he's not being misleading with some of the information that he's providing. He is very much coming across as, I cannot tell you anything until you sign and accept it. Once you sign and accept, I can give you more information. But as far as like your connection to this crew and these jobs, he's not lying to you that this would have no bearing or effect on your corporate missions.
Okay.
Most likely you can tell is that if you were to place a guess, corporate security, pretty basic, no affiliation with outside sources because they are wanting to do this based on his information. Somebody's trying to run this without a lot of other people involved.
Okay. I take the pen or whatever and I sign immediately. And I hand it to Dr. Hatfield.
Wonderful. I'm glad the lizard man is amenable to this deal.
Since it seems like we're not going to get any more information until we sign this thing, Roger's going to sign it in that doctor script that nobody can read.
Linus will sign his. Someone else's.
Linus, you also have to sign my name pursuant to Galactic Regulation 62 REC 76.2.1.
Linus will put a Z7.
Fair enough.
Roger, can you give me a speed check as you sign in Chicken Scratch?
Nice. Good call, Connor. I like it.
It's illegible, but it's legible enough to know that it is you. Had you succeeded, it would have absolutely been a nobody knows who this guy is. Nobody knows who the fuck signed this thing. It's impossible to tell. But yeah, with the 59, it's still somewhat legible. If people can find the ROG and somebody can read the hat, they could probably put together the rest of it with some time. But does everybody sign?
As I get ready to sign, I would look at Mr. Business and ask him if there's any chance for any sort of legitimate scrap or salvage along with this job.
Oh. Well, as long as it's nothing that we are requesting, no samples or research data, anything else that you can take, feel free. I can add that to the contract.
And I'll sign it.
And if you hand it back, as you hand it back to him, he will add that in blue pen to the contract. Any additional salvage outside of named items required by employer is free to take.
Linus kind of just like elbows him. He's like, "Come on, it's not like we're picking up their pizza or anything."
Do you know how much it would cost to deliver a pizza across the universe?
I know, that's why we're not doing it. That's why I say we'd never take those jobs.
Remember, you asked for scrap last time, and I found a perfectly good piece, and you said scrap, so I scrapped it.
I'm so glad to see that you have all signed this. Truly wonderful. Let's get business started. And he will put a holographic, or he will put a small object on the desk, tap it, and a holographic dome will appear around you. And it serves both as a sound blocker. It's not indiscreet here. It's very clear that he put this up to everybody around you. But it will sort of keep sound from exiting this dome, as well as provide internal projections to show you guys some information. Oh yes, I can give you a copy of it. And you see he hands it with whatever digital cellular device that he has, almost like scanning a PDF with the camera, and you guys will receive a copy of it on any personal communication device.
Check it for viruses.
With your signature, which I do appreciate, I can give you a little bit more information. First is who it is that you will be stealing from. That is Dyson Phytology. They are not a contractor.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, cool. Good to know. So Dyson Phytology focuses mostly on biological research. They have made weapons. They have engaged in research for biological warfare, but they were an outside contractor. Nobody that they work for now, after the last war ended a few cycles ago. We have caught wind through a let's call them a whistleblower, that they have found something interesting in the depths of the ocean of a planet within the Pycon system. They renamed the world Mirandal, ID designation RR0017-00-I. And I will put that into chat for you guys.
Linus will look to Sarah as like, did you get that?
The world is truly a barren wasteland. A kilometer-thick layer of ice covers the surface of the entire planet, only being broken by the peaks of oceanic mountains coming up from the depths below. Whatever they found down there, their scientists were very interested in, and we would like a sample. Both a processed sample that can be found within the lab, as well as any archive research files that you hear. All we know is that it is titled Project Bloom, but the specifics of the research is unknown to us. We did send in someone else, but they came back. Well, actually, they didn't come back. We're not sure what happened exactly, but we assume that they were caught and dealt with.
Is there a name that, or a code word that we could use to identify them should we run into them?
Oh. That is a good question.
Perhaps it would be perhaps a little extra if we bring him back to you.
We assume that he is dead, but if he is alive and you do rescue him, sure, we can add another 50,000 on top of that, 10,000 apiece.
We'll keep our eyes peeled.
Wonderful. Yes, if you can bring him back alive, we can add that to the contract. But as far as code words, instead I will give you something to show him, and he will slide across a badge to you. This plays a bit of a double role. It will scan at the facility as high security for Dyson Phytology. It will give you access to, or it should give you access to, most of the facility. On the back button right here, and he'll kind of show you this little hidden button. Press that. It should relay a message to other employees of our company. Discreet, but effective.
What's the name of his company?
He does not say.
Does he give us a shaving cream bottle to smuggle out the samples?
Oh, Jesus.
Absolutely, yes. 1,000%. He gives you a shaving cream bottle that has a place to put some samples, as well as a place to store a USB.
Fantastic.
Was that guy's name Dyson in the movie? Dyson, we have Dyson here.
It was Dodson.
Dodson.
It's really
Dodson.
close.
Dodson, we got Dodson over here. See, nobody cares.
What's Dyson's full company name? Dyson something?
Dyson Phytology. And their lab is on the system Mirandal, which I will also paste.
And then phytology is the study of plants?
Yes, it is. And there you go. Dyson Phytology, Mirandal. Some other information, and he will both send you the files and also project them here, but I will be able to pull them up for you guys real quick. We do have blueprints that this whistleblower gave us for the orbiting space station, the Delange Orbital Relay Station, though many refer to it as the Dolores Station, as well as the small outpost of Japlin's Ake, and a readout of Choi Labs itself. All of which you guys can find in the handouts, by the way.
Did he give us a description or a name of their agents, or not just, are you this guy? Are you this guy? Are you this guy?
They gave us a badge that will allow us to relay a message that only they will be able to read.
Yes, but he will give you a description. Male, about 5'10" height, clean shaven, dressed to fit in with the scientists there, so you may have to project that code within the vicinity of scientists until somebody responds, if he is alive.
Okay, so this is more of a code where only he can see it. Yes,
it will project something. Do any of you guys hit that button?
What button?
I know
What
he
button?
did, but
I assume I
the one
wouldn't
on
have
the
that.
on the badge that he gives you. Just out of curiosity.
Sure, I'll push it to see what it does or what the message is.
Okay.
You don't get anything, but but Sarah, there is a readout that appears on your biosynthetic eye that reads out as essentially like nearby covert operatives. Ping back to let them know your location and identity.
At least it's not like execute them all.
Yes.
Order 66.
But you would get that secret message because you are part of the same company.
Whoever
Though
pushes the button
this
is marked for
business guide does
termination.
not reveal that. But he gives you blueprints of the station, of the outpost, and of the lab that you guys can read over. Like I said, they're all in your handouts. As well as an overview poster that kind of shows you what the lab is, some basic information, and basic looking readout of the labs. He will say that the labs are at the bottom of the ocean, but there is a large elevator to take you down.
He is not. Horace is not looking forward to that.
Neither am I.
The planet, as I said, is an icy, barren wasteland, but the outpost has made do. They do send supplies every few cycles to the orbital station, but with these high security clearance badges that I have given you, you should be able to pass yourselves off as employees of Dyson fairly easily, or even people hired by them to go to the station and deliver the supplies. Smugglers have gone out a few times based on what our whistleblower has informed us about. As a show of good faith, separate to the contract, we have refueled your ship. Your docking fees have been paid for. We've provided some minor repairs, just some bits and parts that might help with your keep your jump drive in shape. Our old man out there should have taken care of that while you were here.
And
I'll look to Horace to see if he reacts to somebody else touching Nadia. Was it Nadia?
Nadine.
Nadine.
I would be a little jealous, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm stupid enough to sort of kind of backtalk and get upset over kind of like this large meal ticket we have coming. It would irk me. You do see me tense up when he says it, but I don't. I stay obedient.
It's really more of a thing of like he just has the supplies that you don't have to fix the ship, right?
Okay.
So it's not like it's a judgment on your ability to rig the ship. It's just that you haven't had the supplies to really make it work.
He actually has the parts we need.
Now, quick question.
Yeah.
Horace would probably ask, like, some more intensive questions, knowing that this is like a completely isolated lab of what apparently is incredibly secret research with an orbital space station, one way in, one way out. He would probably ask if we require like security clearance or if we need to change our ship's transponder to kind of like maybe bluff our way in.
I believe he just told us that he just gave us clearance where we can we were hired by this company.
Okay.
With those badges, you can try to change your codes if you would like. That is fully up to you. But these badges should give you whatever clearance to go past the station. Okay. Now, the other piece of information I should give you is that the last we heard back from our agent was a month ago. In that month, we have not heard.
No, I see why you.
Go ahead.
Jeremy, go.
Hello?
Maybe he broke up. We can hear you, but like you started to say something and then you stopped. Something like, now we know why.
Oh, Jeremy, if your thing's lighting up, but I don't think we can hear you right now. Okay.
How about now?
Yes.
That's better.
Fixed. Also, I switched to my phone with a plugged-in headset, so hopefully that works okay for now.
Sounds good.
So with your whistleblower being gone a month, I'm not surprised you expect him to be dead.
Yes. But you never know. Part of our concern is also that, well, the station has been silent for a month. In fact, we've gotten word that Dyson is sending some ships over to the to Mirandel to investigate. But Dyson is, well, they suffered a significant loss at the end of the last war. Their ships don't typically have jump drives, so even if they are putting this at top priority, it would take them a few months to reach there with even their best thrusters. So you, with a jump drive on your ship, would be able to get in and out plenty quickly. The reason as to why the station has gone silent is lost to us, but as I said, if you can find our agents and figure out why, or what happened, we could always add more to the contract. Any additional questions?
Are drinks on you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there a specific time frame you would like this delivered?
Before Dyson arrives at their facility. We don't know if they're going to go, clean slate on this project.
I see. You want a little time to get your hands on it before they realize it's missing, don't you?
Yes. A few months for them to get over there and enough time. And that's a few months with the month that's passed. So suffice to say, I think we have plenty of time, but I would not waste any.
And why is there a vacuum corporation dealing with plants in the snow?
Shut up and do your rounds.
Don't drink anything in here. I don't trust it.
I think this guy is so wealthy that he genuinely is like, what is a vacuum?
I'm so glad you guys you cut the joke.
He's probably like vacuum of space. What are you talking about?
Yes.
But that makes
Well,
me happy.
With that all said, he will buy you a round of drinks, and then he will kind of disappear, unless.
Before he goes, I just want to ask. Once we collect this material, do we just come back here? Is there a way for us to contact you that the job's complete?
I would say return here. Yes, and he will give you a way to contact him. But he would say return to Alshay Station to deposit the items with him or another representative. But you will be able to recognize based on the same thing that you would use to get a hold of their agent. So
based on the badge.
Yeah, they would be able to get a hold of you.
Did you see my question in the chat from earlier when I asked if the name of the corporation?
I didn't realize that was a question. Sorry. No, the name of the corporation is not on the question. Not on the contract. The name of the corporation is not on the contract.
By signing,
he does not give his name or his company's name.
By signing, you agree that Corporation A.
Right.
Pretty much, it's an NDA, and even with the NDA, they're being very cautious about letting you know who they are.
Okay.
You hold it up to the light, and it's got a watermark of their company.
Yeah. On his tab, I would like to order a bottle of some sort of grain whiskey that does not taste of space-grown mushrooms or anything like that, which is probably pretty expensive.
It is. What do I
would
make
like
this?
I would like to throw that on his tab. I'm taking that on the ship.
What do I want?
Whatever it is, it's obviously illegal.
Well, yeah, maybe a little bit. Give me a speed check, I think. See how we'll treat this as like a fast talking with the bartender.
There's also Rimwise, which is kind of
I don't think he has Rimwise, do you?
I do not have Rimwise.
Yeah,
I'm
just
just-
make a speed check. But I do like that idea of Rimwise. Ooh.
Dang it.
Well, you can certainly tell the bartender to add it to his tab, but it may come out of the pay of the contract if you guys are successful.
I do.
Is there anything on the menu that might act as a makeshift disinfectant that I could just be like, oh, spare medical supplies, I can slip that in?
Yes, the alcohol that Horace just bought could also act as a disinfectant. It's very high proof and very expensive.
Yeah, it's like an earthbound whiskey, something that's like really rare
Yeah.
out where we are.
But you could certainly find some cheaper alcohol to use as disinfectants if you like. Some cheap whiskey or vodka or something.
Yeah, vodka sounds good.
Can we get some food?
It settles the nerves for both doctor and patient.
Can we get some
Fair
food
enough.
before we leave? I'm hungry.
Yeah, you guys can get some food. It'll cost you, maybe 10 credits for a basic meal.
That's all I have left.
Yeah, I'm completely broke because story-wise, I spent all my money. So like, I sent
He
my
would
money
buy
to my
buy
dad.
you the meal then. I think if you guys asked and been like, "Hey, we're pretty low on cash," and he would just be like, "Yeah, it's not gonna cost me that much."
You
I'm
filled
not
up our
gonna worry
ship,
about
at least fill our bellies too.
it." He'll fill up your bellies too.
I hate to say it, but Linus actually has 900 credits still, but he also was in a high-paying job that he hates.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
have 900 fucking credits?
Yeah, I rolled 3,800 credits when I was making my
He's the
character.
captain. He gets the bigger cut. Remember?
I also got hazard pay on all my jobs.
Yeah. With that, you guys have the job. You take a chance to eat, refuel yourselves as well as the ship. You guys can check on the ship. It seems to be in good working order. He did not. The engineer that came on, the old man, did not mess with Nadine too much. Mostly just added some missing parts to some of the wiring and connections. Some light converters that maybe you didn't have before. So he left the big drive alone. It was mostly the connections to the ships that he messed with.
Okay.
And you can tell that pretty easily without having to make a roll. But you guys can take some time to buy any supplies that you might need. I would say type it in chat if there's anything you want to buy. And it's a little early, but we'll take a break because I got to pee, and then we'll jump into the next part.
Yeah.
Can we? There's no advance on our pay, correct?
No.
Okay.
Connor,
Yeah.
could I team up with Sarah and perhaps talk with her to see if maybe some sort of communications or any sort of tracer might have been added? Something that we might be able to find and filter out through the computer systems.
Yeah, I will say that Sarah can roll me a hacking check, but if you were gonna jump on with like your mechanical repair, Sarah can make it with advantage.
Okay.
That's a good call. As a matter of fact, I would congratulate you, Horace, for having that idea under the stress of the new job, keeping your cool, and yeah, that's impressive. They may have left some kind of tracer. So you said I do get to roll with advantage?
Yeah, but I want you to whisper it to me.
Oh,
Damn it.
okay. Let me see. Is there a way to
I would say just /GM roll 1d100 -1.
But if I'm rolling with advantage, doesn't it make it? Don't I roll 2d100 or something?
Yeah, you can do that. Just roll it twice. GM roll.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Connor,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing like a knife, like a basic combat knife in the hand in the
Probably a vibrochette.
the rule book. Yeah, I was just looking for a combat knife. I didn't know if there was one available.
Ooh,
Horace could probably fabricate you one, Galcash,
Well, that'll work then.
if it's allowed. Oh yeah. Is the air here? Is it like full of particulates? Seeing how like people's faces are like covered with soot.
Yeah, it's smoky, it's dusty. Clearly the place is like operations have started again, which is how the station like makes money overall. So there is mining occurring, but they do not filter or vent the place very well. So a lot of that like gets brought back into the ship.
Horace feels.
It's all asbestos. Asbestos everywhere.
Horace actually feels pretty comfortable in this place.
Bootleg's meal is a giant space bug because he's a lizard and that's what he eats in the desert.
Nice.
Do you think we should? Do you think we should hire a priest? I mean, we could just hire a marine.
But fuck you.
It's like the dissection. The dissection part of Starship Troopers. He just puts a bug on the table. He just cuts it open. He's just taking all the gauze. It's delicious.
Roger's fine. I've seen this before.
I'm gonna use the bathroom too, so I'll be right back.
Oh, never mind. You might not have to answer that last question, Connor.
Yeah, because based on that
Yep.
email you got, you know who it is.
I respond. The ship is clean.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
I love this.
You're welcome, Engineer Horace Ripper Bautista. I wouldn't use your nickname.
Yep.
Engineer Horace Bautista.
I would go over to the comms. Ahab, we are 5x5. And
All
I'm
right.
talking to Linus.
Well, with that, we'll take a short break because I gotta pee, and then we will.
So it sounds like we might have to be dealing with some security. So what's everyone packing?
Horace has tools, but he also carries a sort of military sidearm, a service pistol.
Tranquilizers, stun gun. The only thing that would probably be considered an actual weapon is my Mothership, which I use to amputate.
Linus has a rigging gun, a nail gun, a vibration, and a crowbar.
That's why I call you Ahab, because of your whale spear on your back.
I have an SMG with 15 rounds and how many frag grenades do I have? And 6 frag grenades.
Wow.
Just be careful with those grenades. Like space, underwater is like reverse of space. Instead of it trying to rip you apart, it tries to crush you. So,
Speaking of which, Connor, do we have like differences in ammunition? Like plastic alloy, like bullets that won't like damage hulls, put holes in ships, as compared to like lead rounds or.
That's a good question. I don't think that is designed specifically into the game, but I think that's something we could easily add if you're interested in like like an SMG could fire different types of bullets. That may not affect their damage, but may affect, how it deals to objects.
Yeah, like plastic rounds for like organics, as compared to that.
That's a good idea. Sure, I'm okay with that.
I always pictured space marines always use hollow points because they have no penetration.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think they even mentioned that in Aliens, right? That they're hollow point bullets or are they armor piercing explosive? I don't remember.
I think in Aliens they're explosive.
Okay, they are explosive tipped. Never mind then.
Because Alien was just, kill things.
Wake up, Marines! It's a good day to be a Marine.
They also had under barrel grenade launchers, I think, so.
These Texas Roadhouse rolls are putting me to sleep.
Well,
okay. Everybody's back.
Gotta watch your cinnamon buttered roll.
I'm gonna take one more bite of brownie. Charge me up.
No time to hibernate, lizard man. Get up.
All right.
Well, we got some jumps, so I can go to sleep.
Well, Connor, before I
was going to ask if there anything you guys want to do before you depart from the station.
Is there any way for me to sort of fabricate a knife for Galcash?
Fabricate. Say that again.
Is there any way for me to fabricate like a combat knife for Galcash? Because he mentioned about trying to find a knife on the station, but he was low on funds.
Yeah.
I mentioned that I might be able to perhaps engineer him one.
I would say yes. If you have some supplies on the ship that you want to dig through and use, I would say you can do either an engineering or jury rigging to see like what kind of weapon you're trying to make, or I guess that's the wrong way to phrase that. How stable of a weapon you're trying to make.
Okay. Utilizing our carbon fiber printers, I'm going to try to fabricate him a knife.
Yeah, my last one broke on our last mission.
I told you didn't let it cure long enough.
We don't talk about last mission.
Yeah, everybody keeps mentioning that.
Okay.
We got the job done, though, didn't it?
Intellect. Submit. 37 out of 57.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah, you got a combat knife for sure.
Yay, I got a knife. I'm going to put that down.
Stick him with the pointy.
But I don't know. Okay, honestly, I did not see it in the rule book, so I don't know what damage it does.
Let me double check. I think there's one.
A scalpel does 1d10, a vibroshot does 2d10, and then they each have crit specials.
A crowbar does 1d10.
Will.
Sorry, did you say something to me? Sorry.
No, we were fabricating a.
Okay, that's
We're
what I thought.
discussing a fabricated knife.
But I was saying something to David at the same time, trying to listen, and I got sidetracked, and I was like making sure I didn't miss anything. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Is David
All good.
David her secret contact?
Yep, he's sitting right here next to me.
Is there
Mark
no
says
like,
hi, by the way.
combat knife?
Tell him I miss him.
Mark, David says he misses you.
I miss you too, bud.
He says he
Will
misses you too. You guys are
treat
crazy.
this. We'll treat this as like a vibroshot. I think.
Oh, I want one of those.
So I think
But
that's
I'm-
what we'll do.
Saving up to buy one.
Yeah.
A vibrating machete. There's vibrating machetes.
Gonna try to fabricate too.
If you would like to try.
If you can, I would love to carry one. And I you know what? If I could turn my stun baton into a vibrating machete, I would.
Oh no!
Oh no! You not only are you not able to fabricate. Oh no, you didn't crit fail. So yeah, you just kind of use the supplies on this one. It does not come out.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Here's the funny. Okay, it's supposed to be a vibrating machete, right? When you turn on the vibrate function, the blade just wiggles out of the fucking handle and collapses onto the ground.
Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for a secondary roll of a jury rigging.
Okay.
Oh my god, here we go. Let's put some duct tape on it, Horace.
Intellect.
Yeah.
38 of
Ooh.
57.
You can get a vibroshot that you can use. Roll me a d10.
Oh shit! All my pull-ups are in the way there. A 9.
You can use it 9 times.
Fantastic.
You got 9 slashes with that before that thing is busted.
So
I hand Galcash, you can use that one.
What?
I'll just stick with my stun baton.
So I have 2 now.
Oh wait, was this the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. No, I'll use it. I'll take the second one 9 times. You need the one that's good, because you're the fighter. If I have to hit something more than 9 times and it's not dead yet, I'm fucking running away.
Okay. What's the what's the stats on the vibrosheti or whatever?
Look it
I
up
have
on
it.
your PDF.
It does 2d10 damage. What is this? Crit will hack off limbs.
Yep.
Close quarters combat only, and then like its special is that it can cut limbs off and cut forestry and foliage and stuff.
But Mark, my PDF doesn't have completed for the weapons for some.
It's literally page 2 of the PDF.
I know,
it doesn't have the
it's
weapons.
it's not finished. It's faded out
So
for some whatever reason.
when I downloaded the PDF the first time too, for whatever reason, the pages that were black with white font do not come out well. I don't remember what I did to fix it when I uploaded it to Google Drive, but it comes out weird for some reason on the initial down.
Well, there you go. There's the stats from the PDF.
Let's CQC again.
Close quarters combat? Come on.
So you have to use
You're the
it,
Marine and you don't know what CQC means?
So yeah, you have to fight right next to something.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's a melee weapon.
So yeah, I knew that. So it's 2d10. Critical damage is what? 2d10.
You
Hacks off limbs.
Yeah, on the crit you hack off limbs.
Is that the damage or the effect?
That's the
There's no damage on a crit. A crit means you hack off limbs.
Yes, I had to reread that before. Everything has a critical effect. But when it does, it'll say it'll double damage or triple damage or knock something down or whatever.
So I have one too, but it only works 9 times. I love it.
So that's correct, right? I rolled a 33.
No, you rolled a 66. That's a crit fail.
Hey, first one of the night.
No, I'm just testing, making sure it's good, and I only did 8 damage.
I thought about you taking 8 damage from it, but no, you're
So Gunny is just swinging this thing around and he cuts his tail off and he's like, oh.
Has to grow back. All right, any other things you guys want to do on station before you leave? We'll say this mark for you will take you a day.
No problem.
But you'll spend that one day before leaving doing that. Anything else that you guys want to do or work on?
Nothing.
You guys have plenty of time. It's just how much time do you want to spend here?
Galcash, I say we get there as soon as possible. Thank you for the weapon, Ripper. But I think I want to get this done. I have nothing else left to do here. Unless Linus, if I could borrow some credits to go to the strip club.
All right, and with that, we cut to.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not a specialty in lizard biology, but there's not going to be any lizard boobs.
Linus will pass you and just hand you one of the magazines he just bought.
Oh God. It's
I totally forgot I had this bar picture up specifically. I totally forgot to move us.
There's this one green lizard. She just pops out eggs.
It's called Interspecies Erotica.
Oh my god, it's like that one magazine you can buy in Mass Effect that's the Hanar on the front. It's the weird tentacle creature.
Yeah!
And it's the board mag of the weird pink tentacle blob.
I love it.
Oh man.
Hey, he's 13 years old and he's... Yeah.
You keep saying that, but he is an adult in his own
Yeah, that's why he wants to get home. He only lives for 30 years.
He only lives for 30 years. It just throws me off when you specify that he's 13. He is an alien that is an adult.
Yes.
To any monitors listening, he's an alien in a fantasy world.
Because I think Chris said he's recording this. It is an adult in a different species with a different time frame. He is basically a Solarian from Mass Effect. He die very early.
When you think about it, he's technically middle-aged.
Exactly.
He's middle-aged. He's in his 40s.
Jesus.
So Linus takes the magazine, says they're too young for you.
All right. So with that, you guys can make your jump once you guys have finished all your preparation. We can make our jump over to the PyCon system. This is just a general readout that you will get of the system before you make your jump, as you kind of scan and begin to make your preparations. There are 4 planets that surround the system. When Dyson Phytology bought Mirandel, they renamed the planet from the PyCon 123 system to Mirandel. The where the name came from, nobody is really sure. For this, I'm gonna have when you make this jump, Horace, I'm gonna have you roll an engineering check with advantage, as the jump drive has gotten some new pieces to it.
Using intellect.
Yes, using intellect.
A 2.
A 2. Damn, that's awesome. You
Jeez, yeah, it
find
is.
that this thing runs very,
All right.
very smoothly.
All right, Eddie, let's hit it. We are already here. What?
Yeah, you hit the button. It sounds so much better, and you guys jump.
Nadine is purring.
We are unnerved by the cleanliness of that sound.
Yeah, pretty much. But you
Where's
guys
the usual
land,
rattle clang?
You guys land in the Mirandal or in the Pycon system, near to Mirandal. So I'm going to jump you over to this map. And you guys arrive. To get the tiny version of the. That's okay. You guys arrive kind of over in this side of the of space of the planet. Not too far from Delange Station. It will take you an hour on thrusters to make your way over to the station itself. But as you land in Mirandal, you see that it has a what are those called? Are they called neutron stars? The blue ones with the cool pipes that lead off of the north and south tip of it. It is a neutron star. It does not give off a lot of heat, and so Mirandal, as the fourth planet, even though there is ocean on it, is almost completely iced over because of the cold. In fact, the ice reaches a kilometer deep into the ocean, as you would have been told, meaning that it has to be extremely cold for the ice to reach that far.
Mirandal C must have went through the beam.
And I'm glad you brought that up. As I wanted to give this our first opportunity to test our save mechanic. As you kind of land in this system, where's my little description here? You jump into the Pycon system, nearby to the icy world of Mirandal. The world below is barren ice wastelands with sparse cloud coverage across its skies. In the distance, you can see 3 moons orbiting. One with a large external explosion that ripped parts of the moon out with the core now exposed. The remnants of the recent war between galactic factions. Orbiting nearby is a large space station. The Delange station that you were informed about. The station's external lights are flickering and radio communications are down, only static reaching you over the shortwave comm. As you guys enter this planetary orbit, seeing the destruction of that moon, I actually want our 2 soldiers to roll me sanity save. As you guys kind of see the destruction of this world, given that you are both soldiers, ex-soldiers, you have participated in war. You may have seen destruction like this happen on a mass scale, and maybe this might bring back bad memory.
No, this isn't a stress or panic, is it?
No, it is a sanity.
So I just
so
I click.
Yeah, baby!
Jesus.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Well, good news, you don't gain a stress.
Whoa, wait a minute. What does that mean? That's our first 0.
That's
a crit success.
That's the ultimate crit success.
That's the ultimate crit success.
Yeah.
You guys know what that means. I'm gonna die first.
No, Mark, I specifically played the black guy, so I will die first.
So, oh my god. Ouch. That's pretty funny.
So I click on sanity, normal.
Yep.
Come on, you got this.
Fail.
Wait, I didn't see your roll. Oh, you're gunnery.
Gunny, I think for Horace, the war was distant enough with his retirement that, Horace, you're able to kind of block out the memory. You see the planet and say, I've seen worse. Bootleg, you look at the world and by failing a save, you will gain 1 point of stress. So your stress will go from 2 to 3.
Oh, Jesus.
And there is, and you can describe the memory if you want, or you can kind of just sit on it for a bit. But there is a memory of a bad battle that you recall. It starts to stress you out as you're cleaning your gun. Flashbacks of Nom style, like you're kind of not like full PTSD, but you are seeing flashbacks of destruction, loss, death, whatever memory kind of comes to mind of something bad that happened at your time during the.
After seeing that, I don't. I would probably stop cleaning my gun and grab my stress ball and just start squeezing it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. You just kind of hope that stress ball will calm you down and not explode. As funny as it would be to ask for a strength check in this moment.
The stress ball reads 0 stress and 0 G. That's my trinket, so.
0 stress and 0 G.
But yeah, I'm just.
But yeah, you kind of have those memories of war come back to you, and it just adds some extra stress to this unknown journey that you guys are kind of undertaking. But you guys can make your way to the station. As I said, shortwave communication is down. There is no communication incoming to you as you come within range of the station.
Can we hold off on coming into range of the station? Do you guys want to talk about what we're going to do?
Yeah, that's fair.
So we're getting readings that the station's power is like down, things like that?
You would have to roll a check for that.
Because usually they would hail us, right? And it's like,
if you come into range, but it sounds like Linus wants to hold back on coming into range of the station just yet.
I picture we come in and he goes. So now what? we got booze and food, and we didn't talk about how we're going to do this.
Yeah, you guys can certainly take some time to chat on the ship, kind of waiting around from the orbital station. We could also say you guys kind of talked about this before
on our way.
On your way during the jump.
Well, so it does behoove us to have some kind of plan. We have the ID to get onto the property, the base, right? The lab, but we don't know what we would say if we were confronted as to why we were there.
So Mr. Business did say that there were sort of regular deliveries being brought in. So could Mr. Business and Pappy could have provided us with maybe like crates of like super cheap supplies that we could pass off as like food rations or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that if you were to bring that up to them, absolutely they would have done that. So you can have
not only that, we are a smuggling ship, right?
And,
we probably have some empty crates.
All the food that we don't have,
right? Which is
like they look like the protein bars that they stole in Firefly, and then
that they
were selling off. But instead, it's literally just like things of aluminum wrapped up in like food safe foil.
If we need a crate with some weight to it, I would be happy to be packaged into a crate, and you guys could carry me in the crate into the station, if needed. Just saying.
I think we would need Sarah on these scanners.
I do have 4 scanners. I can scan for. I have a med scanner, a bioscanner, a cybernetic diagnostic scanner, and a field recorder. All in my little iPad that I carry with me.
Jeremy, do you have any idea of something that you might want to do?
No, I think we could just go straight in.
Okay.
I like your direct style.
Isn't this just a standard
Actually, if you walk with purpose, they believe it every time.
We've got credentials. We just land saying we're supposed to be here.
Yeah. We came and delivered supplies. I mean, this place has been dark for a while, so there may not even be anybody.
Don't make it more complicated than it has to. Remember last job.
We're going to talk about last job.
All right, so the plan is to kind of bullshit your way through it if you do get called out, but for now, just approach.
Yep, we're here to bring in some foods, some foodstuffs for the lab. That's all we need. We'll work it from there when we hit the ground.
All right.
What's our
you
go
guys
word?
make-
What's our go word like? Everything's gone downhill and we need to shoot our way out.
I think we just say foobar.
Foobar it is.
Food bar?
Foobar.
You know the thing
Well-
that you're out of? Food bars?
Yeah, if we need to get past any computer systems, I feel like I have that covered. And if you guys are stressed, I'll bring my stress ball. If you need it, I'll pass it along.
Let's talk about your childhood.
When I was a young computer,
Gunnery Sergeant Galcash, I realize that your childhood is a recent memory. If you wish to discuss it, though, I'm sure you can talk about it in great detail since it was only last year.
No.
So you push the ship's thrusters up and slowly make your way closer to the Delange orbital station. A plan kind of set of wing it, because we should have our credentials that should pass us through, no problem. You guys get into what you assume would be shortwave radio communications.
Linus will try and hail them, and it's just like, this is Polyphemus, en route to Dalpine's Ache, not mentioning the secret lab underneath. On delivery for resupply of foodstuffs, over.
It does catch you that they did not hail you first, so sending that out as a way to get back to them.
Yeah, it's probably when it's
hear-
like they should have responded by now, and then
Should have responded by now. What you get is feedback.
Sarah.
Nothing of note besides that.
Sarah.
does the station look okay? Like an asteroid didn't hit it or anything?
The station you see on the exterior, there are flashing lights, or not flashing, but flickering, kind of randomly, almost as if there's some issue with the lighting or the power. But it's hard to tell from this distance.
Horace would like to request Sarah and Edie to run scans of the station for any form of destruction, heat, life signs, anything like that.
Yeah, Sarah, you can roll me, with Edie's help, a computer check with advantage.
Something doesn't smell right here, Captain.
Who's rolling the check? Me?
You are with advantage because
Okay, I
the ship's
just wanted
AI
to
is
make sure.
assisting.
And this is just a regular computer check?
Regular computer.
Okay, gotcha. With advantage.
And-
I assume I'm using intellect?
Yes.
And in response to that response, Horace,
Oh, Jesus.
Linus will say, well, we knew they were having trouble, but it's not our problem to deal with. And he'll he'll do a flyby of the station, but just keep going.
You pass around the station. As you kind of do your signal read, you see that there is... you don't get a lot of information. Whatever's going on there with the radio signal, maybe something's being jammed. It's hard to tell. But what you do pick up, what little information you can, is that there are no life forms currently on that space station.
Are we able to tell if there's any other ships docked?
Yeah, there's actually a small shuttle docked to one end of the station. So there is a shuttle there.
Captain Linus Reynolds, location seems devoid of all life forms. Either there is no living things on board, or there are no longer any living things on board. Based on our risk-reward equation, chance of survival is now 72%.
Well, either the case, that's not our objective. Maybe once we get the goods, we'll come back and see what we can scrap.
They do have a communications room. We might be able to find some logs, maybe find out what's going on before we head down.
I wonder if that shuttle came from the planet, if they were shipping something up and down.
But that's just my 2 cents.
The more information we have, the better. I say we dock and explore.
Plus, legitimate salvage.
Ah, there's the real objective.
I just give him a big wink.
And there, and there could be necessary supplies for on the surface of the planet.
Hey, it's not my fault you guys don't pack accordingly. Looks around. All right, if I'm gonna be outvoted, I guess we'll go. Dang, reroutes.
I don't do cold. I'm from the desert.
So you guys
It's
reroute
not my
to,
fault. The planet's covered in ice.
you guys reroute to the Delange Orbital Station's dock. As you come into closer view of the dock, as I said, the lights are flickering. It is kind of random, but it's kind of a sure sign that there is some issue with the power going on. With the lack of radio comms and the lack of response, you know that docking is going to have to be done on your end. Your ship's AI can help to an extent in that they can, reach out to the system and begin docking procedures. But you, on your end, will have to roll a piloting check to connect to the umbilical. So it's going to be a little difficult because your AI isn't able to help with this docking procedure on your end. It has to basically take the job of the station.
Would
So it will be a.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Would it help if I told you that Linus used to be a docking pilot?
Perfect. Shit, yeah, that's awesome. I'll give you advantage on that if you've done this before.
He used to be a harbor pilot where he would navigate ships through asteroid fields.
Yeah, I like that. I'll absolutely give you advantage on that check then.
And then
because you've probably done this very thing before.
Hey, Connor.
Yeah.
With my engineering, Linus's mechanical repair, and also Zara's intellect on all things kind of computers and mechanical. Mm-hmm. With the power seemingly being out, would we know what that would mean for the orbital station's life support systems?
If power is failing, they may have life support functioning, but I think for a seasoned engineer and combat veteran, you would take this as a better safe than sorry situation. You don't know how much power is left on that station. Even if they have oxygen, it may not be a lot.
Okay.
I'm going to be using my intellect.
Piloting with speed, I think.
How quickly you can act and react under pressure.
Yeah. But it will be an advantage.
You got this.
With a 38, it's...
I hit something.
You do kind of scrape the docking umbilical. Nothing too bad. You will take very minor hull damage to the ship as you do scrape along.
All those repairs that were just done are now undone.
I scraped the name of our ship off again.
So you guys will take 4 points of damage to your hull. You have a hull of 55, so that'll bring it down to 51. It doesn't damage any systems too much, but just because you're kind of flying solo and there's no support from the station besides your ship's AI doing basic functions. Plus, there's no real lighting coming from the station, so it's not like you have a good view of what you're doing, even with the side cameras. But I think more so than that, and I'm going to jump you guys to this next map, you get thrown off by the floating body that you see just outside of the viewport window as you come into dock.
The floating body's on the outside of the station.
On the outside, there is a body in a vac suit attached to a breathing umbilical cord, floating dead in space.
Wait, so can we see that there's somebody in it through the face shield? So we know that there's a dead body in that
Yeah. Can you guys all see on this next map?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that body right there, that body is there's a person inside that vac suit. But if you guys would like to get a closer look, what would be a good check for like perception? I don't know if there really is a good perception. I think what I will have you guys instead roll is a fear save. As you kind of see this body floating as you guys get closer and your lights kick on to compensate for the lack of lights on the station. And you see this kind of like a jump scare, dead floating body. I'll have the people that are in the cockpit.
Oh, engaged. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Make a fear save. And if you fail the save, you will take a point of stress. Just so you know.
God damn. I gotta, I can't believe, that was so close to a crit fail.
Oh my god. You guys are all jump scared by this one a little bit.
So is this, are we seeing it like slowly rotate and looking at like the freaking...
slowly rotates.
The visor all like...
Are we all making a fear save?
If you are in the cockpit of the ship right now seeing this dead body, yes.
Even me? I'll make a fear save. Oh yeah, I do. I do make a fear save, but I just have a really high chance of success because I don't really get a grade.
High chance of success.
Yes, we discovered that androids have an insanely high, the highest.
I will also point out fear saves made in the presence of an android.
Oh my fucking god, though, Connor!
Oh my god, that's a crit fail. That's a crit fail.
That's the crittest of fails.
That's the crittiest of crit fails. And of course, I have literally failed every roll but one tonight, as is per Ken. So let's have some fun with this.
Well, if you think about it, we all have less than 50 in any skills, so we have less than half a chance to succeed.
Ken, tell David to leave the room.
David, your RNG is fucking me right now.
So everybody that fails gains a point of stress. Sarah, having critically failed, will roll a panic check. So you're going to roll 2d10.
Okay.
And you want to get above what your current stress is. So your current stress being 3.
I also have this, by the way. I don't know if this made a difference while we were making this save. But anybody...
They should have been made at disadvantage, technically. But I forgot. We're going to roll with it for now.
That's fine.
I think everybody failed. I think the disadvantage, people would probably still fail.
Hold on.
All right, so we all freaked out about this dead body that we saw, but I'm going to panic. And
you have a little bit of a panic.
And we're also going to use the android panic table, right?
If you fail the panic check, yes. So roll 2d10 plus 3 for your... or no, not plus 3. I think. Hold on. Let me double check that.
Yeah, I don't know what my panic check is.
I think it's just a flat 2d10, but let me double check that I am right on that.
You guys are going to watch a robot panic.
Yeah, I'm at stress level 4.
Yes, so you just roll 2d10.
And you're trying to get over your stress?
You're trying to get over a 3. Okay, so you do not panic.
Okay.
But you are surprised. Your job as a linguistics and therapeutic robot model is to support living creatures. And you came here thinking that things were going to be chill and you could do a job. And now you are kind of out of nowhere seeing a dead body, and it's... I think more so than anything, it catches you off guard because you're like, oh, I can't help. But I'm supposed to help, but I can't help. And this isn't an enemy, so it's not like I was fighting him. And it's kind of like that moment of like, how should I react? And I think that's where the failed fear save comes from.
Fear comes in?
Yeah, you're struggling with finding a reaction based on your protocols.
You don't know what to do.
Well, I will stutter and say, I hope that crew had a model similar to mine to deal with whatever they had to deal with, because it was pretty bad.
So the rest of us who failed the fear, do we get a stress, or do we lower our stress?
You gain 1 point of stress. So everybody starts at 2. If you failed, you go up.
So I'm at 4. So
So you're at 4. Nothing changes for you, necessarily.
Yeah, but seeing that, Bootleg has his weapon and he has a magazine. He just loaded it and he's ready to rock.
All right, but I do gain. We all gain a stress level, so I'm going to be at stress level 3.
Yep. But yeah, you guys are, and that's probably what caused you, Linus, to fail that piloting check, is seeing this kind of dead body floating there unexpectedly. Very much a jump scare. You turn your ship's lights on to compensate for the lack of the station lights.
It's like I turned to like, it's like, I'm not the one. I turned to guy. It's like, I'm not the one who made the planet. If I
like to think he bumped the station, which is what caused the body to float towards us.
Oh, I like that better.
And as it kind of floats towards you and turns, there's really no good perception, and we've rolled a lot of intellect checks, so I'm not going to make anybody roll for this. As it turns, this isn't like rot and decomposition that would be normal to a human body. It is almost like there is something that has leached some of the skin off of his face. So think of like Indiana Jones. What's the one with the Lost Crusade, where you know how he kind of like when he drinks out of the wrong cup and the flesh like melts from his body. He's somewhere in the middle of that happening.
So in the Last Crusade, the guy aged really quick, and the Raiders of the Lost Ark is where people were melting.
Oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark, yes. So it's like he's in that melting stage, kind of like halfway. So and it's kind of stasis.
Not desiccation, but
liquefaction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, what a word to use for this. Oh, God,
yeah,
guys.
Very well done.
Very well done.
But as to the cause...
Point of inspiration.
can't really tell from here. But you guys are connected. You are able to latch the ship on. Very minor damage to the ship, but nothing that can't be fixed with a little bit of time.
After a moment of us breathing heavy, Linus just goes, "Well, you guys wanted to come."
Is the
Captain, you wanted to come.
No. Turn around. No. I said we go to the planet. It was
Oh, I got you.
We're docked in the airlocks and everything, right?
You are docked at the airlock, and as Horace pointed out, with power failing, he recommended to jump into vac suit. So, are you all hopping into a vac suit before you go into the station, or are you going in assuming there's oxygen?
No. Linus is staying here. You guys want to go investigate this.
I'd like to jump into a vac suit. I want to jump in a vac suit, and I want to go and med scan that body out there and see if I can figure out what kind of thing this is.
I think that's a good idea. I have a med scanner too, but yeah, if you have one, let's go check out the body. See if we can determine cause of death. Obviously, it was whatever's clinging to their flesh.
At least find out whether it was like a chemical explosion, a biological
maybe radiation. Yeah, well, let's find out.
I'll hop in.
Maybe the station just wandered through the whatever this star is. Wandered through.
I'll hop into a Lizardman vac suit to go with him for security.
Can I ask? I would like to ask Captain Linus if he would like me to go inside to the comms room, or if he would like me to start on hull repair.
He goes, "You do what you want. Probably get." Linus is not having it. He's gonna go raid the fridge. You do what you want, guys. But Linus will stay on the ship.
We have shortwave radios to contact each other. I know I do.
The vac suits do come. Vac suits do also come. They have flashlights on their helmets. They do have shortwave radios. So you are able to contact from there. Yep. They also come with 12 hours of oxygen. So just note that while wearing these, because they are bulky and heavy, speed checks will be made with disadvantage.
Okay.
Sarah? Really quickly, Chris. Sarah? They have minimal power, it looks like, due to the flickering lights. Can we see if we can get Edie to try to integrate with these station systems? Perhaps we might be able to pull logs from there. If not, I will go in, see if I can get to the communications room.
Sorry, you were selling that to Sarah or to Edie?
To Sarah.
Okay.
I defer all computer things to Sarah.
Very well.
Yeah. I'm normally good at that stuff, so I accept that responsibility.
And then I do like that idea. If you guys are in a vac suit, if you can put that little symbol on you as well.
The ninja symbol?
Yeah. The other thing
Okay.
I will note is that your suit can be punctured. So just be careful.
Can I?
Do you want...
actions that you take?
Wait, no, all vac suits have mag boots included, right?
They do. Yes.
Okay.
They have
And
mag boots included.
As she's trying to integrate with the station, I'm going to suit up as well.
Am I able to wear my combat armor with the vac suit, or do I have to pick and choose?
I thought your combat armor was a spacesuit like
Yeah,
that.
I think it's progressive, right? So I think each armor suit has what the previous one had as well. I think that's how I read it, but I might have read it wrong.
I know the hazard suit is not. It's not rated for space.
Yeah, I would say it's the standard battle dress.
I have.
Oh.
Yeah, I have the standard battle dress.
I will say that can fit underneath the vac suit.
Okay.
Because it says leather jacket, sneakers, tank top, ragged tee, standard outfit. So it's not like it's anything bulky.
Yeah, standard crew attire is just clothes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't. Oh, standard battle dress. There, light plated armor. 10% bonus to the wearer's armor save. Okay, that's what you have. Because the picture up above says advanced battle dress. That's not what you're wearing.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
But I would say the standard is light and small enough that you could probably fit a vac suit over. Because these things are pretty big and bulky.
Okay.
No, I will just say that armor is not going to help you once your suit gets punctured.
So.
But you guys can open that first airlock door.
I will say, let me clear the room first, and then you guys follow. Let me sweep.
To be clear, the standard battle dress and the vac suit won't stack. Will you have a 10% bonus to your armor save and not a 17 bonus, or are they going to have a 17?
It would be the 7%. Well, actually, I don't know how that would work because I think maybe they're supposed. It doesn't really say if they can be stacked or not. So
the way I picture it is that the vac suit has 7% armor, and the standard address has 10%. But he's wearing the vac suit over the armor, so it'll be the vac suit first.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm reading it too. Is that it would be you would base it off the vac suit until that gets like punctured and destroyed, and then we would count for the.
I mean, if it's too complicated, I could just wear the vac suit for this.
No, I mean, we're figuring out this game as we play it. I think it's just it's a fair question just because we don't know.
We'll just consider it as just wearing the vac suit for now. But if at any point you take the vac suit off, it will be the. We'll treat it like
10% armor.
Yeah, we'll treat it like the bark skin spell, where you can basically choose which armor are you using.
I like that.
Okay, so right now vac suit until we know it's safe to breathe, and then if needed, I'll take off the suit. But okay,
it's like I said before. If the vac suit gets punctured, you're basically dead anyway.
Okay,
potentially. So
I will. So if we're all ready, Bootleg will open the door and kind of sweep.
Yeah, you open the door. It is the first of two doors to the airlock.
Is there a window that they can see through?
That they can see through?
Yeah, like
Not to you.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is like just a small airlock chamber. Somebody else can step in. Isn't your token name Horace?
It's the long version.
Because when I hover over your token, it's just Horus.
I just see Horus as well, but it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be like, over the comms, Gunny, before you open the door, make sure there's nothing we need to cycle the airlocks. Never mind.
No, the airlocks will cycle. Once two of you guys are in, you can open this other door. This other door does lead to the larger airlock. So you guys can go in there. So four of you can be in the airlock first before it cycles. You just kind of have to go through these doors. So I don't know if the other two are going to join.
I'm gonna head with them while Sarah was gonna do that integration check with Edie.
Yep.
Okay. And I have.
Just keep me posted on the comms.
Yep. And I do have a HUD, so if you guys have body cams and stuff, I can see through your body cams.
I do not.
I do have a body camera on my suit.
Yeah, so my HUD, I can allows the wearer to see through body cams of others in their unit and tap into their gun's smart link capabilities.
Is this integration thing you're asking me to do, Horace? Is that with you guys or on this ship?
It would be from the ship. I'm thinking like having Edie, since we're connected to the docking umbilical, to see if there's any way for us to integrate the station systems with ours to see if we can access comms, things like that, status reports on.
Okay.
We're checking
So-
the local. We're going to check the local net.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I hook up to the station's network?
Yeah. Roll me computers with advantage.
Since it
Okay.
seems to be running off of minimal power, we should be able to access it.
So I will assume that you guys are cycling airlocks while they're on the ship still.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to shut and lock that.
If you guys have body cams, we can see you on our screens.
I know I have a body cam.
Hey, that is a
you
crit
can.
success. Because a 3-3
it is.
Under the number is a crit success.
It's a critical success. All right, I got some information that I will give to you. Just give me a second as I switch ambient volumes here. Sorry, let's try that again.
Remember, let me sweep the room first before you enter.
So you guys go through into the airlock. A decontamination cycle will process light, gas, standard stuff, taking off any external bacteria or contaminants that you may have on you. And after some time, the door will unlock and slide open.
Welcome.
Which I do have a.
Oh man, I pull my pistol out.
Yeah,
in the side holster.
I do have my SMG out, just aiming, and I do see. Are there lights? You said there's lights flickering, right?
The lights are, yes. The lights should be dim in here, I hope. I tried to make sure that it was all good on Roll20. But the lights are dim, and they are flickering on and off kind of randomly as you guys kind of move through. But as you guys do that, here's what I'm going to give you, Sarah, with that crit success. You and Edie connect to the station's power systems, allowing you to sort of access some information from the station. I really do want to reward this crit. Let's see. What information are you looking for in particular by doing this?
I would be looking for whatever the last alarm that was triggered, perhaps, would have been in regards to which system failed, and perhaps if it gives me a description of, what. Maybe there's a log of what someone reported as failing.
You are able to pull the logs from the station. The last recorded event was 8 days ago, where a small shuttle from the I think you should see what. Oh, you're not talking about rolls. You see 8 days ago, a small shuttle from the planet's surface came and docked with Delane Station. There is a report in here that the crew looked shaken, scared, concerned. Did not say much. Almost like PTSD shock. There was panic in their eyes. They looked like they went through a lot. Now, before that, they had not had contact from. They had lost contact with the outpost on the surface 2 days before that. And 2 days later, these guys show up. They take them to, their rest area, let them sleep, give them food. And then there is a report from one of the security people on the station saying, it's very strange. These guys came up, one of them looked sick. He had these white specks kind of in his suit as we pulled off his helmet. We thought maybe it was ice particles, but something's starting to grow inside the shuttle. I don't know what it is, but I've sealed it off for now. When they wake up, I will probably ask them more questions. And that is the last log that is on the ship. It was 8 days ago.
Okay. After I analyze that log, and logically work backwards from there, I open the comms. We got comms working? We can speak to each other.
You guys have shortwave comms that you can use to talk to each other.
Oh, that's right. Our suits have a shortwave comm in them.
Also, could we see those with body cams? Like just give us access to their token. We won't touch them, but it will allow us to see what they see.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I like that.
So
if you're gonna sit back, how do I?
Can be controlled by.
Sarah, we got
Captain-
another body inside.
Captain Linus Reynolds, comms check.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
I'm downstairs, Sarah.
After review of the footage of what has happened on the station, the last event that occurred on the space station, chance of survival now 70%. And if the vac suits are punctured, that might be cut in half. Just keeping the risk reward in clear view, Captain.
So, Linus, I'm adding you to Hatfield. I'm adding you to Hatfield, Batista, and
Can I forward the video footage that I obtained to Gunnery Sergeant Galcash's heads-up display?
yes, you absolutely can. You can forward that information to him very easily on the HUD.
So since you have a HUD, Galcash, I'm gonna upload that the little bit of camera footage that I was able to find, displaying the symptoms and the resulting, whatever was part of that camera feed, showing the.
The camera feed would show those people coming out of the ship looking.
Looking sick.
Just panicked.
Panicked,
only
yes.
one guy looked sick. Everybody else was just panicked. You see in the written report that they had mentioned specs on
right. There
one
was
of
the
white specks, but you don't really see that in the video. It's not something that you notice, but it could just be the grainy footage. But to the people on the station, before you get that report, stepping out of the decontamination, as the door opens and you kind of pressurize, you step into this room, and it is a barren room, conveyor belts, a large space for storage of any new materials that might be coming into the station, cargo, things like that. Ahead of you is a security station that can be scanned. but you immediately see what look like, at first, snowflakes, but as they kind of land on the helmet of your guys' suits, they appear more as like very small flower petals almost. And they are just kind of floating throughout the room.
Kind of a good call on the suits. Is there gravity in here?
Sarah, I can also add you. Yes, gravity is. Oh no, sorry, gravity is off. Gravity is not currently working.
Okay, so our mag boots are clicked on.
So your mag boots would have clicked on.
So this body that we see down here, he's floating.
Yes, he is floating. I will describe him in just a second. I'm giving Sarah also access to your guys' cameras.
Okay.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm going to stay here with Linus for now. If you guys need me, I'm happy to come join you, but I will basically keep connected to, if I can, if I can try to access the cameras on board the station, I'll try to see through those cameras.
Cool. Cameras currently are showing up blank, but may need just power restored, but that would require somebody to find the generator and see where the fuels are at.
So I will tell I'll tell the crew that I do have access to the cameras, but it seems they're powered off. If you can find the on switch, greatly appreciated.
But yeah,
you can take off your suit too.
Yeah, I guess I can since I'm staying here. But I'm going to leave it on because if they need me, I'll come running.
So you're walking around in this huge bulking vac suit.
Hey Doc, now you said you wanted to scan the body outside. We got one right here.
Yep, this one is much more
move up.
accessible.
Before Galcash starts moving, I'll give him like the signals, like one by one, cover package, and our package is the doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna go any further than this. I wanted to peek around the corner.
Yeah, so going across the now defunct conveyor belts, you kind of just see that this is where they would like load their storage, and it would pass through. These flickering red lights are what would be a security scan. This is their TSA. So these any items passing by here would be scanned. Peeking around the corner, you do see a one-way. Did I make that one-way? Don't remember. Maybe it's trans. I'm actually gonna fix that.
I was saying right now the furthest I can see is here.
Okay. I'm gonna move you real quick. Can you see into there?
Yes.
Oh, dang it! Did what I did not want it to. That's okay.
I was saying I don't have to see anything. I don't if that's what you're trying to go for.
No, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna flip it, and I think if I flip it, you won't see.
Yeah,
it.
now I can't see anything.
Perfect. It's supposed to be a one-way mirror.
Okay, so I look back to Horace. Will this trigger any alarms? And I'm kind of motioning at the red light.
Let me look at my tools I have.
I don't really think it matters if it triggers an alarm. There's nobody around here to get us.
We don't know that.
I actually don't have any sort of mechanical scanner. I have a bio scanner, but I don't think that'll help.
I'm just gonna go through it.
I think just with basic knowledge of these station systems, it's really just a security check. But with power kind of going in and out, it may not trigger anything anyways. But it's really just scanning packages.
Can I turn my infrared goggles onto the sensors to see if they're emitting any sort of electrical heat?
Yeah. Really, it's just the colored lights that are active. No other scanners are activated.
Okay.
It's like emergency lighting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait for me to the signal.
As you guys come into this third room, passing the security station, you guys are entering what is the shuttle dock. So this large door here is where the shuttle is docked to beneath. And it opens up, allowing for things to be loaded into the top of the shuttle, which can then go down and deliver things to Japlin's Ake below. Floating here is the guard, or is the corpse of a security guard who is fully equipped, and he was shot from the front, but his body's just kind of floating in space. There is some blood floating around him.
Shot from the front.
Shot from the front.
So his wound's in his chest.
His wound is in his chest. He had a big old blast to the chest.
Go ahead, Doc, and do your scan.
I'm pretty sure I can tell cause of death from here. We'll take a closer look.
But afterwards, I was gonna see if he had any ammo or weapons on him that we can use.
Yeah, Doc, you can give me a first aid check or a biology check. I'll let you choose. What you're kind of looking for may affect.
Let's do biology because he's obviously dead, and
Yeah.
and I'm mainly looking for whatever melted the guy's face off the outside.
Yeah, roll me a biology. Or you know what? Actually, I think you're trained in this. Actually, I'll say biology for now. Never mind. Biology for now.
Yeah, I'm trained in biology, first aid, and pathology.
Yeah. For now, I'm going to say it's a biology check.
And then I would like to do something after he's done.
Damn. 61. Oh, shit, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, shot in the chest, blood kind of everywhere.
That should be a 51. I added the 10 myself, and it added it again, so...
Oh, okay. Still, 51's really good. So remind me what you said you were looking for.
Mainly, I'm looking for whatever melted the guy's face off outside, see if there's any presence of that on this one.
I mean, continuing into this room, those white petals, those small white petals are still kind of floating throughout the air. On this body, the hole in the chest, with the blood out, you do see that where some of the petals have landed on his skin, it almost looks like they are starting to grow roots into his arm, leg, and into the wound in the chest. But they have not spread very far. It's dead meat. They may not be getting nutrients from it.
What the fuck?
Have you seen anything like this before?
I've seen spores, plenty of flesh-eating diseases.
Well, after he's done his search, I would like to see if I could retrieve any weapons or anything useful off of him.
Yeah, he will have a shotgun on him.
Oh, sweet!
Combat shotgun. With one full clip and a secondary ammunition cartridge. So there's how much ammo does that thing have in it? So you have 8 shots for it total.
I will give it to Horace because he only has a pistol, from my understanding. And I have an SMG, some grenades, and a vibrating machete. So yeah, I'll give it to Horace. You
remember that Horace's arm's all fucked up?
Oh,
that a shotgun's probably not the best weapon for him to use. Like you kind of know he's talked to you a lot about his injuries and how it sort of doesn't really help his combat at all.
Okay.
Did the security guard have any passes or anything that we would need for security locks or something?
You would know that your security pass would outrank whatever he's got on him, based on what the businessman.
Okay, I just want to make sure we have access to. I want to make sure we have access to wherever we need to go.
For sure.
Connor,
but yeah, no, you got what you need.
Connor, can I use my bioscanner while the doc's doing his biology and Galcash is looting? Could I use the bioscanner to see if I can find? Because these white flower petals are sort of... I want to see if there's a point of origin. Like, if there's a concentration coming out of a vent, or if there's a concentration coming from some other part of the room.
Ooh, that's really good. Yeah, let's see. With the bioscanner... I'm gonna make this. I think I'll make this a just an intellect check. Unless you think there's a skill that you have that might work for this.
No, it's just I have a bioscanner. And I'm almost trying to use it the same way that I would use like infrared to see if there's like a white hot area that these seem to be concentrated in.
Okay. Roll me the check. If you pass, I'll say you can certainly find where this is all like originating from. But you'll still get some information from this.
Connor,
Alright.
how much ammunition did you say I got?
8 bullets, and it holds 4 in one cartridge. A 37, and your target is a 42. That's awesome. You first, as you scan around, first thing the bioscanner tells you is that these look like petals, but these are fungal in nature. Though the specific species is unidentified. The other thing that you see is that they are, while it is kind of floating and hovering here now, you can see them sort of gunked up a little bit more heavily around the air vents. Somewhere where the air vents are connected to is being, that stuff was being flooded in. And I think with that success and the guy outside with the melted face, you can maybe start putting 2 and 2 together with that. Because he did have an oxygen umbilical cord attached to him that would have connected to internal oxygen supplies.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. All of this, as I'm scanning it, I'm patching this in through the comms, at least the text information, and feeding that back into the computer. So Sarah and Linus have access to this information as I scan the room.
Alright. Yeah, you can pass that information along.
Can I take a sample of these spores? I'm not sure if I have like a test tube or anything in one of these med packs or whatever.
Do we really
Sure.
want to bring that with us?
We came for, we came for samples of why the place is shut down.
I will say you were specifically sent for processed samples, not necessarily
Raw
things
samples.
that you find in the wild. Yeah. Because these could be different than what was actually being studied. But you can certainly still take a sample. I'll say there's something in your med packs or med kits that allow you to.
I'm gonna take a sample just because unknown spores, maybe they have some use,
And we do have a science lab on
You
the
do have a
half-blind.
science lab. For sure.
At least if it's unknown, might as well just take something and study it a little bit.
But you can certainly collect those samples. But yeah, you guys are just kind of in a like I said, where the shuttle docks. There is some storage containers around here. You're not really sure what they have in them, but then there are doors to the north that lead further into the.
Would his oxygen umbilical cord, is the oxygen supply coming from this dock area?
Like life support?
Yeah, the umbilical that's feeding the dead person's oxygen. Knowing what I know,
That would be life support in a station of this size would most likely be located where power is located. So you'd have to find power.
So his because I thought he was like hardwired with oxygen into the dock area. So I didn't know if there was like a station where I could turn off his oxygen supply to that hose. But
yeah, you would have to go to life support to do
Okay.
that.
Okay, no worries.
It's probably just like a socket in the airlock.
That's what I was thinking. That I might be able to shut the socket off.
You might be able to go to the airlock and disconnect him. But if you wanted to like shut off that oxygen supply, like from its source, you would have to go to life support.
Okay, I would just like to disconnect him, or at least shut the valve that's feeding him oxygen from the life support, to hopefully stop the petals from snowing.
Another quick question.
Because oxygen is low, you know that they're not being pushed in necessarily right now. But if you were to turn the station back on, they would probably start pumping.
Okay. With that thought in mind, I am going to shut his valve off.
But yeah, you can either head towards power generation, or you could head towards that maintenance access door that he was able to hop outside of.
Okay.
I was going to ask a real quick question. The guy who got shot, what kind of bullet does it look like? You know, rifle, shotgun, pistol?
Revolver. It looks like he had a couple revolver bullets to the chest. You do, with some time spent looking, you would see that there are some casings. There are 2 casings left around floating. But yeah, he was shot with a revolver.
Horace.
Just kind of curious. Yeah, I was just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Horace.
But Horace, yeah, you can start heading through the station if you were going to look for. Don't forget, you have the blueprints too. So if you want to look at those to kind of figure out where you're going.
Here's your scrap, Horace.
Yeah, I'll tell Galcash. Straight ahead through the door, common walkway, habitation to the left, power to the north, comms maintenance to the right.
I think power is our most important thing that we need.
Agreed.
What's in
Power
this,
would be the most beneficial thing at the moment. I
What's
could
in
keep
this-
an eye on the whole station if you were to activate power.
What's in this pile of goodies? Anything?
If you were to take some time to look, you could find a variety of things, but it would just take you time.
Okay.
I also want to note, according to the blueprints, it says this place has a crew of 4, so there's 2 people unaccounted for.
There's technically 12, right? Because 8 people came from the planet.
No, did I say 8 people came from the planet?
I thought
No,
8
it was
people
8
came
days ago where they
Oh.
where they saw something. But there are, I think, well, there's 4. In the video, you would have seen 2 people, I believe.
2 people come from the planet. 1 was sick.
Yeah.
So 6 total on the station at the moment. So okay, 4 unaccounted for. Yes. Sorry, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 8 days ago that they arrived, but 2 people got out of the ship, the shuttle.
All right, I entered to do a quick sweep. Clear.
It looks very dark in that room. Do we have flashlights or something? Even in the cone we could swivel around?
I believe we have headlamps.
Yeah, you
on
have
our
headlamps,
vacuums, right?
If you would like to turn it on, absolutely. Can turn that on for you.
Whoops.
Low light.
Oh, we can't do that. He has to do that, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And it's in a cone, not all right.
that's what he's
Yes,
doing.
it would be at a cone. So directional light.
Connor, time that we've been inside, about an hour.
At this point, I would say about closer to 20 minutes. This so far investigation has been quick because you guys have not stopped besides looting this one corpse.
Okay.
Did that work, or did you just be able to see around?
That looks like it just did everything.
Or
There's directional for me.
okay,
Can you move?
30 is not what I want.
Can you move the directional?
You can
you just have
rotate
to
your
turn your token.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see what you. Oh, yeah, that 30 is way smaller than I. Try 40.
And I don't know if you have a way to, move the whole cone, because right now it's going up. Oh, there is a straight.
Is that better?
Yep. It's even the way I'm looking.
Perfect. Yeah, so 45-degree angle. Actually, I think 60 is what I have it set on cyber. That's what degrees. And then 90 for the direction. Safe. But yeah, you can turn your headlamp on. There you go. Anybody else turning headlamps on?
If we have headlamps, yeah, I'll turn mine on.
It's enough.
Perfect.
Considering 3 in the morning is when you're go to.
Okay. So both Galcash and Sarah said that power would be the most important thing, so I'm going to move up to the power generation room straight ahead.
I got second.
Yeah, you guys can make your way through.
Okay. I was waiting for him to turn on the token light.
Any sort of keypad or anything to access this?
to power? No.
Jesus.
There is. Why is directional light not? Oh, because I have to say emit.
So fucking stupid.
Save.
Oh wow.
Galcash will do the tried and true. I will open the door. You sweep in.
Okay. Well, I think I don't think I think the light is not directional.
For you?
Yeah, I think it's all around.
Oh. Should be direct. There we go. Save. And then Horus. Direction. I don't know why it turned it off, but there you go.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Perfect. There you go. Now you can kind of turn your token.
Okay, so
and you guys can kind of explore. You guys know your way. You guys have the blueprints.
I'm gonna go check habitation if you guys want to go check communication or power.
I'm gonna step to the side, open the door, and let Galcash sweep in.
Okay.
All right. You guys sweep and clear into the power room. Same thing. Those white petals are floating, directionless.
Okay.
Linus is going to be
Zero
observing.
gravity.
Is going to be observing Dr. Roger. Maybe he might provide some advantage on certain things.
Yeah, for sure.
Does Dr. Roger have a camera?
I do not have a camera.
I thought it comes on everybody's vac suit.
If it came out vac suit, otherwise no.
Oh, I thought.
Gunny, go with the doctor. I'll handle this.
Vac suits do not come with a body cam. I don't believe.
Oh.
They do not. They do
Well-
come with lights.
I already said that we have them on, so I'm not going to change that. They got a camera.
Awesome.
You can borrow mine.
Because I don't want to have to go through and fix all that right now.
All right. I'll go.
In that room, by the way, in the power station, the generator is powered for us, but it is very, very low on fuel. You can, since the ship is connected very well, thanks to Sarah and Edie's computers check, you could connect ship power to the station if you wanted to give the station a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, I'll sacrifice some percentage of the ship's power for that.
All right. The generator kind of hums a little lower, doesn't sputter, is not as ragged as it kind of lets your guys' ship kind of take over some of the facilities.
And how are you doing that? How are you doing that, Horace? How are you doing that, Horace?
What do you mean?
How are you way over there telling the ship what to do?
Oh, via the control panel here, since our ship is connected and integrated to the system. It's like a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I'm just moving some levers up and down, pulling a small percentage of power.
Wireless extension cords exist apparently.
It's more so that since you guys are already connected to the station through that umbilical cord, and with the connection that, like I said, that Sarah and Edie got by being able to connect stations, you guys are a little more integrated into the station, are able to utilize from the control panels and power generation to siphon from the ship. So you do have a hardline connection through that umbilical.
And it's a small percentage of the ship's power to sort of just power this up, seeming like we're not going to be spending a lot of time here.
I'm just saying because Linus is like, I didn't know they could do that. They can just siphon all the power from a ship.
It's kind of like a two-way connection, but like I said, Sarah and Edie kind of brute force their way in to
And then
a connection.
while the doc and them are searching habitation, I'm just going to move up to the diagnostics computer, and I'm just going to start looking at things and sending information over to the ship.
Doc.
Yeah, you can start kind of looking through information. Is there anything that you are looking for in particular?
As of right now, nope. I'll let the other two take it away.
Doc,
Alright.
there's another body.
So do we have power now?
We always had power. They're just siphoning it from the ship.
Okay, so I can see through the cameras now. Are the cameras active?
Yeah, we can say cameras are active, and you can kind of get a view of what's going on. I will also say that if power comes back on, gravity would kick in as well. So you guys don't have to necessarily rely just on mag boots.
Hey, look, you found the bathroom, bootleg.
Yeah, I'm doing my job. I'm sweeping.
Oh no, you found the bathroom. That's all important.
Yes. Doc, that body, shot in the head, same revolver, bullet. You can tell just based on the size of the wound compared to the other security officer. This guy is beginning to resemble a little bit more the description of the floating cosmonaut outside of the station. Where the petals have landed, his skin is beginning to sort of pull in those directions. And you can kind of begin to see the foundations of a fungal colony growing. I'm gonna have you actually roll me just an intellect check because you guys all got that video.
What's that? I was fixing my headphones.
Roll me an intellect check. Ooh, very nice. With that success, you recognize that this, from that video that you were sent from Sarah, that this is the person who came out of the ship sick. Even though a lot of his features are gone and kind of melted away, his general face structure is still intact enough for you to kind of recognize, like, yeah, if that guy was starved for a month on end, this is probably what he would look like. So you can kind of piece that together. This is probably where whatever happened may have come from him, may have come from something else.
This is essentially patient zero.
So far on this station, it's the progress of that fungal infection far more progressed on him than the other body that you.
Now, did we confirm that the ship that docked at this space station came from the research station that we're supposed to go to?
It came from the outpost Japlin's 8. It was their supply transport.
Those are the guys we're posing as.
Yeah. They basically used the transport shuttle to go from Japlin's 8 to the space. Way ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Horace, doing anything else in there while they're kind of looking over that body?
I just sort of typed it out.
Okay.
Just making sure everything's nominal. I'm going to start logging. I'm going to start logging all the mechanical and diagnostic charts of here, looking for any stress points, things like that. Like who knows what would have happened? Like high power stress areas on any days, things that they would have activated security systems for, because it seems pretty fishy right now that everybody's kind of dead and there's like mushroom spores floating through the air. Next step for me is going to be the comms room, just to see if I can find any logs. And these logs are mostly focusing on
Bottom of that. Left, right.
God, what am I trying to think? Like SOSs.
Okay.
Emergency callouts from the planet in particular to the station, or vice versa. Like if the station sent like SOS signals to the planet.
So from where you're at now, the life support will read out to you that there is an unknown plant life in the ventilation.
Yes.
throughout the ventilation system. So whatever this is, the whole ventilation system has it in it. And it would take a system-wide flush in decontamination for kind of cleanse the of it.
And that's like a mass like decontamination
That's
in
a
case of
mass. It would be a mass thing, and you're not even sure if the station really has the capability of doing it.
Yeah, and that would probably use a lot more power than I'm willing to give up.
Absolutely. But for the rest of it, you would have to go to communications to get it.
Okay. I'm just gonna chirp on the short range comms. Ripper heading to communications. Power nominal.
As far as you two over here, actually, I'm going to jump back to Linus and Sarah. Are you guys doing anything in particular on the ship?
I would be monitoring the cameras, and basically, I'm looking for. I'm checking on the crew, that the boarding crew for sure. But if I notice anything that stands out as unusual, I might direct them to investigate it.
I think for you, we've already accounted for 3 dead bodies, right?
Right.
1, 2, 3. You would account for. You would be able to account for the other 3 using the security. One is in the small security terminal that has the one-way mirror overlooking the cargo transport. There is a security officer dead in his chair, shot from the back of the head, blood splattered all over his communication terminals.
What
security
the
terminals,
fuck?
sorry. There is another guy in the room that Horace is approaching who was shot with a multitude of times in the chest, blood kind of filling the corner of that room. And
Jesus.
in the mechanical storage in the upper corner, buried amongst piles of mechanical equipment, is another dead body who looks both that he's been shot and also beaten with blunt force trauma. There is everybody on this station is dead.
We knew that there were no signs of life, but I will. The boarding crew, come in.
Boarding crew over.
3 more dead bodies accounted for, and I will provide the locations. It appears their deaths are not of natural causes. Be aware that there are no signs of life on the station.
Hey,
Horace, you're about to step into probably one of the more gruesome deaths. If any evidence can be obtained from examination of the body, that would be great.
Thank you, darling. I'll keep that in mind.
Connor, this patient is just wearing pants, right? There's nothing else on him.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just he's been whatever. He was just shot. You're not sure what happened to his shirt, but he's been shot.
Right.
He did.
Asking the serious questions.
Yeah.
Hey,
it
Doc.
might have been taken from him, but
Hey, Doc, I'm just spitballing here. But from the way these bodies look and what Sarah just described, are you thinking maybe these petals or spores, whatever they are, have some sort of hallucinatory effect? You think these people just tripped balls, kind of lost their mind?
If that was said over the comms, I would reiterate that a suit puncture would be extremely dangerous at this point. Please proceed with caution.
Does the doctor reply at all?
The doctor's muted.
I feel kind of sad he's ignoring me.
we're not hearing you, Brad. If you're saying anything.
You're lighting up, but we don't read you.
This all just seems like a bad trip. You know what I mean?
Hey, you're the ones who wanted to come here.
Probably a good thing we did, actually.
Yeah, I mean, as he said that, I'd say like, well, I mean, look at it this way, Linus. It sounds like everything originated from the planet. Sarah found a log of the one sick person that came up from the shuttle ship, and now you have this.
Yeah, well, I'm now even less wanting to go down, yet we still have to. So thanks for that.
200,000 in the hole doesn't sound fun to me.
Well,
You've never been hunted down by a corporation.
Okay, is my radio working again?
yep.
Yes, it is.
We read you.
Okay, Horace, you need to look at this. This is the last time I borrow anything from you, Linus. As I was trying to say, it sounds like one guy or somebody went around and killed everybody else, but they're all accounted for.
You think maybe it could have been some sort of psychedelic hallucinating effect? I mean, we have heard of spores and mushrooms doing something like this, altering the mind. Do you think that's
It's quite a possibility. I won't know until I can study it a little bit.
The only way to test that hypothesis, I suppose, would be to expose yourself to the flowery petals and
Not-
then
not
secure
help-
yourself on board the ship.
It's
We're
helping.
not doing that.
Hey,
But-
Sarah, being
but-
a bio android, can you even breathe or be affected biology wise?
Jesus,
I would-
Galgash,
God,
that's insensitive.
I would
God damn, I'm not good
I
with
would-
words today.
I would recommend not that I would be a worse test subject for that hypothesis. However, you would be a prime candidate for testing that hypothesis, as your mind is probably the easiest to be subverted by the drugs inherent in the plants. Or could be.
I'd say he'd be a bad subject. These were all human, and we don't know if his lizard biology works the same as
Yeah, you
human
can open the door,
biology.
Horace.
Linus would like to observe Sarah to make sure that she isn't going rampant.
Like, do you even require a suit to breathe? I mean,
I am fully capable of exhibiting all human-like traits.
like, I mean,
What was?
you're just wasting
Jesus.
a suit if you don't. Need
Jesus,
it.
that's a lot of blood, Mark.
I would actually
Jesus, Connor, that was
opening
well decorated.
opening that door and seeing that, it would make me step back.
Oh my
I
god.
was going to ask for everybody watching his camera and Horace to give me a sanity check here.
That is terrifying.
Well, luckily,
That is a lot of blood in that
Actually-
room.
I actually don't
Um,
see it, so
Is this a
When
fear
you get
check?
there, you'll roll me sanity.
A sanity check. Oh Jesus.
Because right now you're still in the rationalization phase.
I failed,
Horace, take a stress.
so I'm at 4.
Let's watch Ken crit fail this again. Let's go.
I'm probably going to. Sanity is not something that is very high on an android's list, because if it's not rational or logical, it's going to drive me insane. And this is
Well, this
neither
is
of those.
right now. This is you guys trying to rationalize what is happening.
Yeah, I'm
You
unable
know that
to
something
do so.
bad happened. You're not necessarily afraid. It's just trying to figure out how this all makes sense. Why would somebody do this? But that is a fail, so you'll take a stress.
I am now at 4 also. I will say that this literally this makes no logical sense. The only thing I could think is that Horace's suspicions are likely correct. We could probably compare the what do you call it? You know, the bullets, the ballistics, the ballistics of the weapon used to any of the weapons that you have found so far on board the vessel.
Connor, how does the blood look? Like,
I mean,
I assume it was
it's
floating.
coagulated. It was float. Oh, you know what? That's true. It was floating. It was hardened, but now it's kind of fallen, and it's still like thick. It's not like brittle at this point. It's not fully dry.
Okay.
Actually, I will say, even through the suit, That's totally fine, Linus. Even through the suit, the closer you've gotten to this part of the station, the more humid the air has gotten. So it's thick blood still. It's not fully dry, and it is a lot. You think part of the reason it spread so far is because of the zero gravity.
So directly in front of me is storage, and then I'm gonna try to go to the room to the north and get to my destination and just get the fuck out of
You guys can open that door if you want to. Like I said, you guys have access to the blueprint, so you should know what all these rooms are. But if you guys walk in any places, I will say, Galcash, you see the scene that I described to Sarah. I am going to have you roll a sanity check on this one for discovering a new dead body.
Okay.
This guy, head shot from the back, blood splattered across the computer stations in front of him. He is slumped over in his chair. Yeah, you will gain another stress.
Jesus, my stress level, my blood pressure is rising, guys.
You're at a 5. It's going to be a stress-filled game.
That's what happens when you're middle-aged.
I think. No, I think this is like your battle sense is like really kicking in, and
you're really waiting for something to come out and like fight, but there's nothing here.
And Connor, I will roll a sanity for this one because I'll be observing Galcash's.
Okay, perfect.
So two things before I want to do something before you go back to Mark. Can I search his body for supplies as well? I know nothing about these computers, so I will actually call Horace over here saying, "Hey, check out these computers. There might be something useful."
Give me 5.
Just basically, you would know that like these are just security terminals. They're used to scan things coming in and out of the station. As far as supplies, I mean, this guy has he doesn't have any weapons on him. He does have what looks like would be a holster for a revolver, but the gun is not there. But you do find some bullets on him.
Okay.
You find 6 revolver bullets.
Okay, I am gonna add that.
But you do see the computer is that he's in front of his damage, not just from the blood, but from the bullet wound, or from the bullet that passed through that as well. And then, I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, the guy's kind of dying.
So,
you see the spores have begun to land on his body.
So I got a question. So there's blood in these spores. Are the spores affecting the blood in any way? Like we saw growing from the bodies. Are they growing from the blood?
In the same way that a plant would leach like nearby water, like puddles, even though it's not directly in it, like its roots could stretch out to it. You see some of the petals, like roots from some of the petals, stretching out towards the blood from the body as well.
Okay.
So it is trying to collect all this biological matter towards it.
Just thinking about that's making me twitch.
I'll call Horace. Found another body. Perhaps you can just go through these terminals and see maybe the spores came from something they brought up in one of the cargoes.
Sounds good. I'm in the comm logs now. I'm going to start sending these over to the ship, and then I'll let the doc do his thing.
Well, you saw the video. The guy came up sick. Anyway, I'm going to go into storage A and see what they're
go into storage
holding here.
I'm going to... Oh.
It is a buttload of food and drinks. All of it sealed and packaged very well.
I would do my sweet.
So there's a lot of stuff in it that you guys could package up, run through decontamination so it's safe to bring aboard, and have food, water, alcohol. It's all here.
Yeah, and it's all packaged up so the spores aren't in any of it.
It is all well packaged still. So you would not, as long as you were to run it through a decontamination cycle, you as a doctor who is trained in pathology would know that as long as none of the seals on any of the bags are broken, they are good to run through decontamination and bring them back.
Doctor to ship. We've got lots of sealed supplies here, good for consumption. Definitely some, what is it, secondary salvage kind of deal for us.
Well, I won't say no to some new foodstuffs.
At this point, I'll say about an hour and a half has passed of your 12 hours of oxygen on your vac suits. Horace,
All I'm
in
doing.
the comm room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, all I'm doing is I'm just going to do a data dump. I'm just going to transfer all data logs over to the ship and have Edie sort of sort through them. I figured it's the easiest thing instead of me like going through it one by one. I figure our supercomputer could probably go through this and log the most important stuff, especially with Sarah's technical brilliance. So.
Okay. So yeah, you just start dumping this data into the ship. It will take a little bit of time to process, but Edie will get on it, and then if Sarah wants to aid with that,
and then when that's done, I will go find the doctor and whoever, and if he wants to start moving this, what I will do is cut power from the ship so the gravity goes back off to make us haul this stuff easier to the umbilical.
Absolutely. Any other exploration you guys want to do in here?
Well, are you talking about them in that room?
Just the station overall. On the station.
Well, I see more doors are closed, and I just found the room with all the blood, I guess.
Don't worry, you've made a sanity save for a body.
There is storage. There is another storage unit directly in front of you.
There you are. I thought you were with.
If you guys want to check out storage B and see if there's even more food stuff, I was gonna head kind of back to the ship. There's one more room next to arrival departure. See what we can glean from that. Maybe send some stuff to Sarah. But then I might get back on the ship and check out these spores.
I wouldn't recommend eating anything from this ship. You're not saying we should take the food stores, are you?
I'm saying that as a doctor, it's all vacuum sealed, airtight.
I told Gunny that
sickness tight.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the food is packaged well enough that the doctor, even without a roll, is able to tell, like, as long as we can run this through a decontamination cycle in the airlock.
Okay.
Will be
I got
safe
you.
to bring
I got
aboard. And you
Oof.
guys have like supplies, rations, drink, all that stuff. Hermetically.
Yeah,
sealed.
you guys are getting the fucking hose. You're getting the hose when you come in here.
I tell Gunny to stop, and I put my hand up, and I have my gun pointing at that thing in the fucking corner.
Like a trained dog?
In the corner is another dead body. This is the body that Sarah would have pointed out, where it looks like fisticuffs broke out.
Yes.
And the guy was kind of slammed into the wall, and machine parts toppled on top.
Okay. I'll tap gun.
Sorry if I'm interrupting something, but Doctor to away crew, did you guys close the security door before we came through?
Airlock closed
never mind.
automatically.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I was on the other side of the security door, and I'm just like, something closed behind us. We're locked in.
No, you're good. Airlock closed automatically.
He's totally calm.
They do close, and they also lock automatically because I can't open it unless it's unlocked.
You would have to cycle airlock one more time. So right now it's unlocked on their side because that's how it was cycled. So in order to open it from your end, you would have to start the cycle once more. Then it would unlock. You could go in, start the cycle, lock, unlock.
Right, and we're gonna run the decontamination cycle like 3 times, and plus maybe a flamethrower.
Hey, Connor. In room 8, which is the maintenance exit, the door on the south side of the maintenance exit, that is where the other ship is docked?
This one here, right below you?
Yes.
This is actually where the body is. That's where the floating body comes from. This maintenance access is basically a way for one person to leave the station on a spacewalk to go fix any external pieces.
Okay, I'm just going to put an X on that door.
Yeah.
Do we know where the ship is docked?
The ship is docked in the room that you guys saw the crates in, the shuttle docking port over where the doctor is. It's big hatch-looking thing over here.
Okay.
So Mark, what were you saying about a trained dog and you were going to tap me on the shoulder or whatever?
Oh no, like a trained dog, as soon as you put your fist up, I stopped. And then I tapped you on the shoulder to let you know I'm ready.
Okay.
And I'm following your lead.
Okay. But so as we get closer, I guess it's
Oh baby. We
A
found
lot of
some,
mechanical
we
parts in here,
found some
boys.
legitimate salvage.
Yes, you did. This is a good haul.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
What did you guys just find? What do I
Ton of
see on the
mechanical
cameras?
salvage.
So where I
Oh,
found
okay.
like the foods pantry, they found like all the mechanical spare parts. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Galcash, you seeing this right here? These look like some big old guns.
They are ship parts. They are not guns.
Oh dang!
Yeah, don't worry.
I was like,
They're
happy
I
labeled
gave you
as
guys a
ship
shotgun.
parts.
no, yeah. So
This one right here looks like a giant Swiss Army knife.
that's
to
what I
me.
was thinking too. But okay, I'm going up to these bodies. If these are two bodies,
It's just one body.
It's one body.
But what
Okay.
you see, taking time to look around, because I'm assuming you guys are taking a few minutes in here going over things. You would find the revolver near this body. It a little bit of ways away. If you had to guess, combat experience. The scenario was probably that the guy ran out of bullets, tossed the gun, and jumped into fisticuffs.
Okay, so I'm gonna add a revolver to my inventory. I mean,
But you can find the revolver in
I
this
want
room.
to pick. I gotta pick a missing finger.
Pick a missing finger.
Yeah.
Um,
One of my characters has to be missing a finger.
Oh.
I'd make sure to remind Gunny, make sure that gun's exposed to the disinfectant when we go through.
oh yeah, I'd say everything I'm bringing is gonna be cleaned.
Yeah, so I'm looking for advanced, like, supercomputer components, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just make a quick inventory. Just keeping an eye on the clock and also the captain's patience.
So, any other exploration that you guys are doing in the station right now? You have the data of this place going to the ship to be sorted through by Edie and Sarah when she has the time. Anything else that you guys are looking for?
You said the shuttle that brought the guy up here is docked right here. Am I able to get into
Docked
that? Yeah, can I get in that?
You can. So, this is essentially like a docking computer right here. You can go up to it, type some things in, see what you can bring up. The docking shuttle is still attached, but it reads as the doors are jammed. So you are not
Gotcha.
able to open them from the computer.
Well, I'll see what I can get from the computer. Maybe there's a way to access the shuttle logs or something.
The shuttle logs show the last departure, which was about 8 days ago, up to here. Before that, it was a few months, which was the last supply drop. But you're able to see through this that they basically cycle every 3 months or 3 cycles. They bring in new supplies.
In their list of supplies, is there anything suspicious? I guess
Supplies
nitroglycerin.
look all good.
Just
some
food and water, essentially.
Food, water, some chemical supplies that you would be familiar with, as far as running different types of tests on organic, plant life and fauna.
So just general lab supplies.
General lab supplies, general food, and water. Just kind of basic stuff. Some construction materials here and there, fuel, stuff like that.
Alright, nothing suspicious yet. Okay, I think I'm searched out. We just want to collect all that food and parts.
Yeah, so if you guys want to make your way back to the airlock, we'll kind of narrate this next part.
Hold on. You said this guy seemed like he ran out of bullets and then he resorted to fisticuffs.
Not this guy. Whoever shot the gun.
Okay. I was gonna say because I got a little confused. I was gonna say, okay, where's the other body? Who's the person he was fighting? But
no, this guy. This is the guy who was almost shot, but there were no bullets to shoot him with. So he was thrown into a bunch of equipment.
Okay. Well,
So how did the last guy die? Did the last guy just jump out the airlock and died in his vac suit?
You'll have to parse through the data that you guys just got with Edie.
so
I think get that final answer, but
Well-
I think it's a good guess.
well, do we need any of these parts, Horace, or do you want any of these parts?
Yes.
We want them all.
Okay.
Anything we don't use is money.
Is there an empty crate?
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. We'll narrate this last bit. I'm gonna move
Okay.
you guys
There you go.
onto the ship.
Connor,
Yeah.
one last thing.
Yeah.
Just because I know it's something that I think we would all do.
Yeah.
Once everything's disconnected power-wise, I would like to ask Sarah and Edie if they might be able to scrub any record of us being onto the station. And in the communications room, I would like to set up a quarantine warning in the short comm distance range that would be like the hail range for the station for anyone to
Very
avoid this.
I really like that. Okay, so
Do we not
You
want to
guys-
pull in the other body?
you guys want to pull on the other.
I don't want to touch that one.
I think the quarantine warning would be enough for people to be hesitant to approach. But, pirates, you never know.
What I'm saying is that the body is still floating in space. Do we not want to pull him into the station?
I say we leave him be. Right now we have priorities.
Okay.
So I think that's a great idea with setting up the quarantine on the comms. So you set that onto comms. While that is happening, the doctor is running food and supplies and water and drink through decontamination, making sure it's all clear before sending it into the ship, and watching over the mechanical parts that Gunny is bringing in. This process, we're going to say, will take about 2 hours. So you guys are down to 9 hours of oxygen in your suits by this time. With these supplies, you have some good salvage. You set up comms to read out as quarantine, do not approach, quarantine, do not approach. Any other information that you may want to add in. What I'm going to ask from Sarah is a hacking check to remove any trace of you guys landing at the station or attempting communication with it. Which you can do at advantage with Edie.
Ken, you're muted if you're saying anything.
Oh shoot, I was muted. I'm sorry. My question was, does my stress affect my rolls at all?
No.
Okay.
Just your panic saves, I think.
Yeah.
So I can use the AI to help my AI to make a hacking check. Heart of the cards. Oh yay,
13,
that's
very
not
nice.
bad.
He summoned Exodia.
So you guys, you are able to wipe any records of your ship and your crew being here. The other question I'm going to, the other roll, actually, no, that seems really good. I'm going to say we're going to do this all at once. I'm not going to have you roll twice. That 13 is very good. Connected to the ship, running through these systems, setting up the quarantine, Edie comes back to you and flags important communications that she wants you to sort through as you guys are kind of going through these processes. There are two things that she calls out very specifically. Three. One is that 16 days ago, there was a communication received by the Delange station that a mole was caught in Choi Labs. And he was caught trying to smuggle out supplies. He was executed at Japlin's Acre. He did manage to make it to the surface with the supplies. There was a small mention a few days later of a containment measure being put into place, but it was shortly lifted. So 16 days ago, 16 days ago, the mole was caught. I think I said 10 days later. I meant 6 days later. There was a small mention of a quarantine break. Containment measures were put into place, and then it was lifted. And then 8 days ago, these guys come up here. The last thing that Edie puts together is the final video log before power goes down. And in that log, you see the person who you inevitably will find was the person in the vac suit floating in space, waking up in the lounge where the guy who was shot in the head was laying in bed. You see video of him going over to check on his friend. Panic. Rush to security, where the security guard was kind of like, listen, you've been through a lot. I don't know what's going on. We just need to calm down. The guy is kind of like, walks back a couple steps, and security turns around. The guy lunges for the revolver, pulls it out, shoots security in the head. Runs to the lounge, goes to his friend, point blank, shoots him in the head too.
Holy shit.
As this bullet fire rings out, he kind of goes to the shuttle where he sees this other security officer, armed with a shotgun, but shoots him twice in the chest before he can do anything. He then goes and jams the shuttle docking port. He makes his way to maintenance access, where he begins looking for a vac suit to find, where he is then interrupted by the guy who you find in maintenance. In a short brawl, that man is shot 4 times in the chest. The other person that you see in the corner of the mechanical storage saw what happened and ran to hide in storage, was found, but the guy was out of bullets after using way too many, and instead brawled with the man, threw him into some of the mechanical supplies, where he was then crushed. He runs back to maintenance, no longer having the gun in hand, puts on a suit, and ejects himself from the place. I should actually say as well, because I did skip that, he does go to comms first before he jumps out of the station to send out actually a quarantine signal that you guys did not get because power would eventually fade and die. It was an SOS for rescue and quarantine to Dyson Phytology. But it was open broadcast. It did not reach anybody in time before power to run out. And he did not realize that he was infected with whatever this was, and would slowly die in a vac suit in the vacuum of space.
Oh my
You see him
god.
there.
Jesus.
Yep.
I was thinking that he was the only body that we had seen that wasn't shot, that at least as far as we could tell. But yeah. Holy shit.
Whatever happened to this man, he went on a panic-induced rampage in this station, killing everybody and jumping outside, believing it was his only hope. With the information you got from Horace about that bioscanner, whatever infection he had is what spread the petals while power was still on and oxygen was functioning as normal. It was his body that spread those petals everywhere.
Not the guy who was sick coming up on the shuttle.
The guy who was sick was killed, but the infection looks like it was beginning to spread. But the guy who was alive outside, roll me, Doctor, a pathology check.
Oof. This is a horrible story.
It's gonna get worse.
I love it.
I'm so glad.
Barely.
Succeeded.
Nice.
You would know that fungus likes humid, a lot of fungus, not all kinds, but there's a lot of fungus that like humid, moist environments. A suit, an enclosed space, even in the vacuum of space, those things are built to withstand the lack of temperature out there. Would be a humid environment, especially for someone who is panicking and sweating probably a lot. Probably
got the most sun too.
Yeah, so it probably allowed the infection to fester and grow, and when it entered oxygen, it was able to spread that way. However, when power shut off, the spread seems to have slowed. But that's what I will give you on that 54. But you guys got a lot. You guys got a lot of supplies. It is clean. You guys took the time, the 3 hours total, to investigate and gather these supplies. With the information you collected from Delange, you understand what happened here. But as to the specifics about what happened on the planet's surface, it is unknown.
Doctor, you any good with a gun?
A trank gun? No, I cut people.
Captain?
You went very Scottish there. Cotton!
Captain?
Linus turns and there's just sweat all over his face. What?
You any good with a gun?
Never needed one before.
What about...
But I got this, and he pulls out the nail gun that he uses to fix the ship.
I mean, that's what we hired you for, right?
There's actually no weights, but
You guys have more weapons. You got a revolver and a combat shotgun?
Yeah, we got a revolver with 6 rounds and a combat shotgun with 8 rounds.
And I lied, by the way, because I believe... See, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The revolver holds 8 bullets, so you would have 8 bullets.
Okay, I have 8. Okay.
Yeah.
But if
he shot that thing 8 times.
Oh, so wait, if he shot it 8 times and he ran out of bullets, there's no bullets.
There's no bullets in the revolver. You got bullets off the security guy.
Okay.
Who had an extra round. So you have 8 bullets for that, not 6.
Okay.
And yeah, Horace, you can do that pretty easily before you leave.
I figure that would be the smart thing. Like, everything's completely powered down to, like, safety systems. So.
Yeah. Sure, for sure. Alright, I'm gonna turn your guys' flashlights off for a second.
So now that we've done our thorough search, can we get the f*** out of here?
Yeah, time to go planet side.
If it's this bad up here, how do you think it's going to be down there?
In response to that comment, I will say that,
no, don't say it, Sarah. Don't say it.
Current
And he walks off. He walks off before she can finish her saying it.
Given present data, current odds of survival 66%.
Then let's increase those odds, and I hand you, and I. Can you use
I think your calculations are off. I think we actually have a better chance of survival now that we've had this small. It's like a vaccine. We've had a small exposure to what's happening, so we know better to protect ourselves. We know the vac suits work as long as they're not punctured.
Your current state of mind leads to an over-excessive increase in positive thinking, which, while beneficial to the crew, is detrimental to reality.
Yeah.
But I applaud your positivity.
Survival chance is now 65%.
Optimism brings your chances up by 2%.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead. We'll go with the optimistic viewpoint.
Yeah. While they're having that conversation, I will slip away.
Okay.
To just find like a quiet corner and like put my head against the bulkhead and just let out the shakiest breath imaginable. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that was
I
some
got-
shit.
I gotta
That
imagine
was
what
some
you
shit.
just walked through was probably worse than anything you saw in a war.
I figured
that was-
gaining 2 points of stress that quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a little shaken at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to process everything, like compartmentalize it a little bit so I can function.
I get you for sure.
That's actually pretty accurate. Even the android is up to 4 stress. Like, this was stressing your robot out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that said, do you guys head down to Japlin's 8?
I will clarify. While I did state 66% chance of survival, I would like to remind the crew 200,000 credits.
Yeah.
Also 200,000 owed if you do not successfully complete the job.
I mean, also,
There's a little bit
that
of
station
pressure
had
on
all
this,
these supplies you can find down there.
Yeah, what do you think is the estimated cost to the mechanical supplies we found, Connor? Like a black market value, perhaps.
If you were to just guess based on just a cursory glance, some of this stuff is high valued given that this is a secret research station. You could make pretty dang close to what you're, depending on how well you reach out to connections and what you decide to sell and not keep for your ship, you can make pretty close to what you're making on the job.
So essentially, if we fail this job, we have some collateral.
Yeah,
you have collateral. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw that option out as well. Like if this shit is bad, and I mean bad, nobody's gonna exfil us out. We know that because we found out that agent that they sent was executed. Nobody came for him. Nobody's gonna come for us. If it gets bad, we cut, we run. Agreed?
Agreed. Can I take these spore samples I did and put them under a microscope? You know, taking all the precautions to keep them contained.
Roll me a pathology check.
Ooh, do we have one of those sealed lab things where he can stick his hands in the gloves and work inside the...
I think so. You guys got a med center on here and a lab center, so for sure.
I haven't seen the movie. Are you talking? It's gonna be like the movie Life or whatever.
Yeah, like that thing in Life that he was working with the organism in.
A critical success too.
Hell yes.
Yes. That's awesome. And also, it really is not good for me. Looking at the sample, you kind of test it with some of the equipment that you have and what you gathered off of the station. A couple things that you can point out, or you can pick out. One is that this is as far as you know, unidentified species. It is highly infectious, but it is highly subjective to temperatures, both cold, extreme cold, and extreme hot. So fire recedes it, but so does freezing temperatures as well. It latches on very quickly to other organic life. So if you were to put some of the food that you got, if you were to place like some steak in there, or chunk of meat or whatever, you would see that it would connect to it, like almost seek it out. It kind of, the petals almost float, but then once a food source is within range, it kind of like floats down to it, latches on, and it very quickly, if you give it the right environment, and I don't know if you are giving it that environment, begins to spread across the meat. And the beginnings of a fungal colony begin to grow.
So it's
through my test, is this like a carnivorous fungus or is it just any organic matter? Like, does it specifically like meat over other plant life?
I'm going to honor that crit. It's the time that it's going to take you a couple hours of travel to go from the space station down to, or not a couple hours, it's going to take you about an hour to go from space station to landing. In that hour, you see that it's not only feeding off the meat, it's almost like it's beginning to replicate.
What was that last word?
Fungal duplicate. Like it is trying to replicate what this is, but as a fungal entity instead of a meat entity. If that makes sense.
So it's like slowly replacing the meat with
It's
itself.
slowly replacing the meat with itself. I'm gonna honor that crit. That crit is very good.
This is
I'm gonna give you that.
terrifying.
Anybody see that old movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I'm gonna have you roll, since you're doing this, a sanity save.
Jesus, we're gonna.
Because I think this is kind of you as a doctor really trying to.
Oh,
shit!
Jesus!
So you will gain a stress. And you can correct me or put your own flavor to this as you want, but I think for this you're really trying to logic out and reason out like this. Where could this thing have come from? Why is it so aggressive? Is this brought from another planet to here? Is that why they're here? Because it's cold here and maybe they can contain it? Like what in their right mind were they thinking? And you're trying to logic that out. Because if this is related to what's down below, which with your intelligence, I think you're kind of reasoning out like this, it must have come from down there because it came with the guy who was sick. Where did it come from and what are they trying to do with it?
So I'm not sure if anybody's nearby enough, but when a scientist fails a sanity save, nearby people get stressed.
I think that would just be, well, I don't know, if that door's shut, then I think Sarah might be safe.
It's probably this is the moment in the scene where when the scientist is like by themselves and they discover something like, should I tell people? Should I not? No, I gotta keep it a secret.
Yeah, it's really up to you. I think if you tell people, they will gain a stress. If you keep it to yourself,
I think I'm going to keep it to myself. Right now, the thing that's going through my head is those bodies we found. Are they still human bodies, or were they all replaced as mycelium by now?
I think part of the failure in the sanity save is you just keep thinking back to the one body you did not check, whose flesh was melting from his face.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
You do not know the state of what was in that vaccine.
Flesh melting his face.
No.
And I wanted to check him.
I'm going to go over and like lock the door and be like, doctor's log, and we found this that whole thing where if you find the old, if somebody finds this is the video they're going to see. We found these spores on a spaceship and it replaces it. It's people.
All right. So with that time that passes, I want to leave us on this cliffhanger. So if everybody's good with it, I'm going to move us to Japlin's Inc. Sound good?
Yeah, we're headed there. We're headed there.
And if nobody else wants it, Linus wants the shotgun.
Hell yeah.
So I did offer. So I was offering to spread the gun. So do you want the shotgun?
Yes, I want the shotgun.
Okay. So I'll remove that from my list.
So, leaving the station, disconnecting from the umbilical, your interface to the systems detach fully. You are able to drift away, the floating body quickly becoming distant, as does the station. And you begin your descent towards the planet. I'm realizing I don't have an entering atmosphere sound effect, so that's no fun. What does this one do? That one was not what I wanted at all. That was disappointing.
That was our
you
space
guys,
pilot.
Yeah, you guys begin your descent to Japlin's Acre below. This one might be a little loud, so let me know if I need to lower the volume. As you guys enter atmosphere, the ship reads that temperatures are extremely low, far below freezing, and the winds are high. You are facing a lot of turbulence as you come down. The ship rocks and shakes in different directions. But once you break atmosphere and get lower to the surface and begin to circle around Japlin's Acre, you see, and you guys will be on the map already, you see a small outpost. From above, what looks like a large storage warehouse, a landing pad for a small shuttle, and another building that, with your blueprints, you would know as an elevator down to the labs below. A large storage building to the right side, as well as some other smaller buildings, administrative buildings, some supply silos, and one building that is almost completely burnt and crumpled down to the ground. As to how and what happens to that building, you do not yet know. But you land. The ship's oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget the word. What is the little ramp that comes down? Is there a word for that? I think it's just ramp. Your boarding ramp descends. Your boarding ramp, thank you. Your boarding ramp descends, and as you hit the ice, it is thick enough that you do not feel any worry that your ship is gonna like fall through it or anything. You land pretty solidly.
I mean, we were told the ice was like a couple miles thick.
It is a kilometer thick. But as your boarding ramp descends, the cold air pushes into the ship. It is freezing here. But you're at Japlin's Ake. And the mystery of what this place and what happened to it is ahead of you. And the questions of why one of the buildings is burnt down to the ground, though the rest remain standing, remains to be answered. My only question for you is, what do you guys leave with? And I think that's what I will leave you guys with here.